Hey everybody, just going to take a quick break from the show to get you styled up with Stitch Fix. Shopping's hard. It's hard. With Stitch Fix, you get a stylist, though, who understands your style, your size, your budget, and they do all the shopping for you.
Wow.
This is excellent. Shopping, I'm telling you, shopping and figure out your style, it's overwhelming. Let somebody help you when it comes to getting dressed. We don't know what we're doing, so we let Stitch Fix help us out. A Stitch Fix stylist there. They know what works on us. We get the prices that make us look really good, and it feels good. You get some confidence boost walking around knowing that you're looking decent here.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we just give the stylist our sizes, style, budget preferences. We order boxes when we want, how we want, no subscription or any of that required. And they send called Just For Me pieces as well. Like, maybe you'd like this, and it's awesome. Outfit recommendations, styling tips. You keep what you love, you send back the rest. It's super easy.
Yep.
You can do it, and we are doing it because it's excellent. Personal styling for everyone. Get started today at stitchfix.com/STM. That's stitchfix.com/STM.
Now back to the show.
Hey everybody, just going to take a quick break from the show and tell you about Noom. Has Noom helped you? I believe it has.
Oh, that's got an app. You can do tracking. It's terrific.
It does. And Noom builds personal plans that can meet individual needs. That's the thing. Takes into account any dietary restrictions, medical issues, other personal needs. That helps build a plan that works for you. And yes, so I know that you've had your own personalized program here that you've been working on. And
it's weight loss This is weight loss results that last. They stick around because you get yourself into a lifestyle change. That's what matters.
That's mainly it. You can't just say, I'm going to cut that out for a month and then go back to it. That's not what it is. So I'm glad it's helping you. That's great. And it really does. I like the psychology and biology-based approach here. Yeah. Noom Weight uses psychology. That's why they say losing weight starts with your brain, but it also takes into account your unique biological factors, Jimmy. All of your multitude flora and fauna that goes on inside of you there.
Sure. Yeah.
Stay focused on what's important to you with Noom's psychology and biology-based approach. Sign up for your trial today at Noom.com, Noom.com here. Based on 3.5-year study of actively engaged Noom users with minimum starting BMI of 25. Individual results may vary. Visit our website for more information.
Thumbtack presents the ins and outs of caring for your home. Out, procrastination, putting it off, kicking the can down the road. In, plans and guides that make it easy to get home projects done. Out, carpet in the bathroom. Like, why? In, knowing what to do, when to do it, and who to hire. Start caring for your home with confidence. Download Thumbtack today.
This week, in Sutherland, Nebraska, a scene of pure and unspeakable horror is found in a rural home, leading investigators to someone who always seems so harmless. What could possibly have caused this regular guy to commit this complete and horrible atrocity? Welcome to Small Town Murder. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Small Town Murder.
Yay!
Yay, indeed, Jimmy. Yay, indeed. My name is James Pietragallo. I'm here with my co-host.
I'm Jimmy Whisman.
Thank you, folks, so much for joining us today on another... This is insane what we have today for. Like, I even need to say that. It's every week. Guess what? If you're here, it's crazy. Enjoy. This week it's real normal. It's run-of-the-mill. Normally it's crazy, but no, it's insane. And this week, I would give it an extra insane. On a 1 to 10, this is like a 308. It's a very high on the crazy meter here. But if you are just joining us, and if you're joining us for the first time, welcome. If you're coming back, thank you for joining us again, hanging out with us once again. First of all, I want to thank everyone this week for your reviews. They count a lot on Apple Podcasts, that purple icon. Why do they count? We have no idea. No. Do we work there? No, we work here.
Not
we
my
have
system.
No idea, but for some reason it helps drive us up the charts. So please give us 5 stars. It helps out a lot. Also, head over to shutupandgivememurder.com for everything small town murder and crime and sports related. And everybody, what you want to do right now is get those tickets for the virtual live show.
Right.
Thursday, October the 29th. We are coming at you guys live, I guess, sort of. And it'll be up for 2 days afterwards. So you can see it almost live.
Be live at some point.
At some point, but check it out there. The all-violent felon edition of the prisoner dating game. Yeah. I show Jimmy 4 lucky bachelors, 4 lucky bachelorettes, and he doesn't get to see them, but he does get to hear their dating pitch right from their, the prison dating website. And he'll pick a lucky bachelor and a lucky bachelorette, and then he'll get to see them. You guys will get to see them. Everyone out there will get to see them before he does. And then everyone gets to hear what everybody's done to end up there. So we get to see if Jimmy's picked the most horrible person of the lot. And that's always fun. Check it out. It's Thursday, October 29th. ShutUpAndGiveMeMurder.com.
Yep.
Head there right now. Also, Patreon. Guys, we have a lot of really good stuff on Patreon. The last episode, everybody, was three women decided that they wanted to resurrect Jack the Ripper.
Yeah.
This is like in the 1990s, not even in the 1890s.
Yeah.
They didn't even know who he was, but the one woman thought that she was Jack the Ripper's mother in a former life, so needed to resurrect him.
Yeah, right.
And that involved murder and
fascinating because
hatchets.
nobody knows who the fuck that guy really was.
It's the story is bonkers. How crazy was that story, Jimmy? So that was last week's Patreon, and this week it'll be just as nuts. We'll have something Halloween themed. It's going to be crazy. All of that available at patreon.com/crime and sports. Or if you just want to make a one-time donation and have Jimmy mispronounce your name brutally, that can happen as well. You can do all of that at PayPal using our email address, crimeandsports@gmail.com.
Yes.
Quickly, the disclaimer, this is a comedy show. It's a murder show also, so murders happen, obviously, but it's a comedy show as well. We're going to make jokes. That's what happens. I mean, we make jokes about small towns. We make jokes about a police force that screws up and, lets a murderer go free for 20 years. Yeah. We make fun of murderers.
Fucking
What else are we going to do about it? I'm not. We're not. Are you a federal judge? Can you,
not.
Down their appeal? No. So we can make fun of them from our chairs. That's all we can do. But what we don't do, we go out of our way not to do, is we try not to make fun of the victims or the victims' families.
Why not?
Because we're assholes.
Yeah.
But we're not scumbags.
There you have it.
That's it. That's how it works. Very simple. We have fun. We have a good time. If that sounds great to you, awesome. If not, maybe it's not for you. But I wouldn't judge too harshly. I would listen, and I think you'll find it's a little different than you think it is. A lot of fun around the margins. That said, the rest of you sitting out there, it's time to clear the lungs. Yeah. It's time to shout, shut up and give me murder. Let's do this, Jimmy.
I like it.
Let's go on a trip.
I can do that.
All right. Well, let's get the hell out of here then. Let's get out of Phoenix, where we are now, and out of Montana, where we were last week.
I got messages about
Darby.
Yeah, somebody from Darby sent me messages,
wow.
And so I think somebody knew.
Very few people from Darby.
What was her last name? Was it Winters or some shit like that?
I'm knee deep in this one. I don't even remember now.
Somebody knows her from prison.
Really?
Yeah.
That's amazing. That's hilarious. And small world.
And she's a lunatic.
She's in prison?
Yeah.
Currently?
Right? Yes.
Or was out of prison? Not the murderer, the person who contacted you. Was out of prison?
I don't want to say too much about him.
Okay.
They seen her. They seen her.
I seen her. She wasn't right.
No.
She wasn't right in the head.
They say she's a little bit bitchy and nuts.
Oh, yeah. Well, we know the one. She's out.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's out.
Yeah.
So, if you heard the story, it's, she's not a nice person.
No.
I don't think here. So,
torturous woman.
Let's go to Nebraska.
Great.
Shall we?
Yeah.
No one's ever said, let's go to Nebraska. Great.
Yeah.
I don't think those words have followed.
Deal.
Ever. Deal,
Fine.
maybe, if there's money involved or coercion of some kind.
If there's a deal.
Just, hey, let's go to Nebraska. Great.
No.
So we are going to Sutherland, Nebraska.
I don't know where it is.
Ever heard of that?
No.
Exactly.
Kiefer.
It's in western central Nebraska. Okay. It's the middle of goddamn nowhere. This place is very rural. About 3.5 hours to Lincoln, Nebraska.
Okay.
Over to the east. About 3 hours and 45 minutes to Denver.
Oh.
Over, southwest, the other direction. So It's kind of equal distance between those two. And 4 hours, or a little over 4 hours, to Verdigris, which was our last Nebraska episode, where there was pigs involved and...
Yeesh.
It was a disaster. No pigs this week. This is just all evil people here.
All right.
So this is in Lincoln County, even though Lincoln's over there.
Way over there.
I don't understand that.
How big is their counties?
No, the Lincoln is not in Lincoln County.
No?
No.
It's not even anywhere near it.
No, they're like, let's not even close. 3.5 hours away. But they're like, let's name as many things after Lincoln as possible. If we have a town in the county, then it's all consolidated. Lincoln Town, Lincoln County.
He's probably got the most shit named after him, right?
Because it's
him in Washington.
It's a hard argue.
Yeah.
That's why. Other people, this one, Thomas Jefferson. He wrote the, but he had slaves and all that shit. Yeah, you're right. That's true. And then people go, what about this guy? But then there's this and that. Lincoln, it's like, what do you say?
Right.
I mean, people will say nitpick about Lincoln, but I mean, as far as historical figures go, he's one of the more bulletproof ones, no pun intended.
Least.
I mean... Well, as far as reputation, that's why I said no pun intended.
There might be only one.
His head, on the other hand, his head, on the other hand. No, and I give. At least that was modern weaponry.
Yeah,
this is like from the 1860s.
Right.
This is like a musket pistol. It's a.
And it was just one, right?
I think so.
I think it was just one shot.
That's what I mean. So
it's pretty.
But it was close. It was like a goddamn went up behind him like a mob hit.
Yeah,
it's a different thing completely.
And he had like 100 years handicap on the other guys too, right?
Well, yeah,
that's my point. Like maybe he's the more impressive one because he's got more shit named after him, and
that's what I'm saying.
And they had a 100-year head start.
No, but Lincoln's got just so much named after.
That's what I mean.
Yeah, it's
and
everything.
Washington and Jackson, those guys had way more time.
Yeah. But that, like I said, Lincoln is not very controversial, except in the South. There's not a lot named.
Syllables.
Not a lot named after Lincoln in the South. If you've noticed, not a whole lot down there, but we're. Outside of there,
Illinois seems to give a shit.
They love it. Yeah, that's different. It's totally different. So this is area code 308. It's 1.3 square miles. It's a pretty small town. The history of this town, there isn't a lot really in the history of it. It's pretty much just like the railroad came through. Yeah. There's a town.
All right.
That's the history. 1835, Colonel Henry Dodge visited this area as an employee of the United States government. Him and 117 other men went out for the purpose of, and this is from the town's historical thing here, this is not my words, this is theirs, quote, for the purpose of persuading the Arikari Indians, then occupying this region, to leave their wild life and become civilized. Go out there and
statement.
Go out there and ask them to come inside and fucking, put some goddamn pants on, for Christ's sake. That's basically what they were saying.
It's a very insulting way of saying it.
We're going to go in. They've been living like this for millennia. But you know what? We're going to go in and tell them they're doing it wrong.
I want to let you guys know some wild-ass shit you're doing.
Go talk them into that they're doing it wrong. You guys are doing everything wrong.
Right.
That's going to help.
Put your balls away and come in here and see a play.
On. Let's go. You're going to love it. Oh, you have plays? Oh, shit. I didn't realize that.
You guys got sports and all that shit? That's,
fuck, all right. This is pretty cool. This is nice.
Maybe we'll just do what you're doing.
Yeah, this is pretty good. I like it. I like the way you do things. Right. Like your lifestyle. like Junior when he goes to see Zach Galifianakis in Reno 911. Oh, I like your lifestyle. Just lives in a fucking bus with 8 kids.
This is doable.
Crossbows and shit. So
it is fascinating. It's a very interesting way of putting the changing their lifestyle. When that's basically what you say to a 28-year-old girl that dates a lot now. Just trying to get her to change her wild lifestyle.
Change her wild lifestyle. Some guy.
Right.
She's fine. She'll do fine out there on her own. So he had apparently the authority from the government to give aid to the ones who should accept the offer. The rest of you can fuck off. So basically this was like a missionary thing, except without religion. It was just to... What's the offer? You try to give them pants, and if they take them, then you give them aid, or
give it to those ones.
You give them food, and if they refuse the pants and they don't get food,
commence the firing.
I don't know what's going on here. So he camped with his men, Colonel Dodge, at Cottonwood Springs, and then it was called Fort McPherson, and attempted to hold council with the tribe, but they feared the soldiers and fled into the woods. The local Indians, because they didn't know what the fuck these people wanted. Yeah. And there's 100-something of them, and they all have guns and
they
shit.
Have fire rockets on their hips.
What's happening here?
Yeah.
Well, they knew what guns were by 1835.
That's a good point. Yeah.
They were, but I mean, they were like,
they've got some too.
What are they into? Well, they've heard these guys come and bad things happen. Right. When you see groups of white guys all wearing the same clothes coming, that's a problem usually for Traditionally, for the indigenous people.
How do they got a word for those people?
Yeah, it's fucking, oh shit is the word.
Cavalry?
Yeah, cavalry. So bad stuff here. So he finally held his council on July 5th with the Indians at right by, it's in Lincoln County right here, 10 miles southwest of the town of North Platte, which is close by. The object of the meeting was to have them accept a reservation. Listen, we're going to kind of pen you in and all that. Sounds good, right?
Get your own place.
Wow, what an offer. So, and then it was the Sutherland was named after Robert Sutherland, who was an official with the Union Pacific Railroad. So many towns named after nameless railroad executives.
And in 1812, that was probably Donald's brother.
Yeah,
because that man is old as shit.
Yeah, exactly.
Holy
right.
fuck.
Donald Sutherland, and he is old. He's still alive too.
He is.
Fuck, I didn't even realize.
One of the oldest people on Earth, I think.
Probably. Well, yeah, he's over.
It's
100.
him and some Chinese lady.
He's over 107, right? I think
He's gotta be
pushing
fucking guy.
He called Kirk Douglas a punk, and then he fucking. Right before he died.
He was 4 years older than him and picked on him as a kid.
It's like, you're a pussy. So the village was incorporated in 1905. Now, right by here is the Mormon Trail, the Oregon Trail, and the Pony Express routes are all run right parallel to this town.
Okay.
So that's kind of why it exists, is kind of a stopover while you're, going to...
migrating.
Somewhere. Yeah, somewhere else, Oregon or the Mormon Trail or whatever. Or if you're a Pony Express rider, I guess. So I found reviews of this town, only a couple, and they're pretty different. They're very different. And I think this is one of those where you can see the difference between if you grow up here or if you move here. Because it seems to be that. The first one's 5 stars, and this is a lifetime resident here. Quote, I'm a former resident of Sutherland. I have lived there all my life until I went to college last fall. They spelled there Their, so I'm happy they're going for higher education. I love the small town atmosphere and how friendly everyone is. Sutherland may not have a lot of places to go eat or places to go when you're bored, but it's only 20 minutes away from North Platte, so you can go there to eat and find places to entertain you. North Platte,
right.
The garden center of the universe.
The entertainment hub of
It's known
Kansas
as the entertainment
and Nebraska.
capital of the Corn Belt.
Right.
It's the entertainment capital of the Corn Belt.
It's really the buckle of it. Yeah.
You know how North Platte, I'm sorry. So there's that. And then there's a 3-star one. This is someone who just moved there and they're not feeling it quite the same. Quote, we moved our family here almost 3 years ago to help care for my very sick grandfather. Even though I have family ties to this town from my biological father, it is still very hard to be an outsider. So I feel like this is one of those... everybody knows each other. They've known each other since they were born.
Right.
Everybody knows that, this is so-and-so's grandson, so I can talk to him and blah, blah, blah. But it's almost, if they don't recognize you, no one kind of, just, who's that?
Grandpa never left, but this guy left to go somewhere else.
I think his father left and then had him somewhere. And now he's been here to take care of his grandfather. And he's like, I'm going to this nice small town. And they all give him the side eye.
Right.
Say, I don't trust him. We don't trust him.
Yeah.
Well, our story today, by the way, is maybe the reason why no one there would trust anybody, because maybe they shouldn't, based on what we have for you today.
I can't wait.
It's a fucking disaster. So let's see here. Your populations, it's kind of stayed pretty steady, honestly, through from 1930 to about 1980. They had the same amount of people pretty much. So it's a 50-year period going through industrial revolution and war and fucking depression and Dust Bowl. This is from the Dust Bowl right to the 80s, right to fucking Van Halen. From the Dust Bowl to Van Halen, basically. They kept the same, which are very disparate periods.
It's a wide berth of history, too.
Think of the Dust Bowl. You think black and white, cloud of dust, woman in that dress that she made from flour sack, standing outside, bring your dusty kids in, and then picture David Lee Roth jumping off a speaker wearing spandex, bright green spandex, kicking his leg up into the air going, wow!
Had to trudge through the jungles of Vietnam to get there. That's a lot.
Extremely different places, is what I'm getting at. But same population. And then for some reason in the 80s, couple hundred more people came. Not sure what the draw was here. Maybe there was a factory at the time or something, but they've stuck around pretty much, and the population's kind of steadily ticked up a little bit. And right now there is 1,601 people there.
Oh,
and
nobody leaves.
Nobody's leaving.
Yeah.
It's up 55% since 1990.
Okay.
Which, I mean, in a small town, it's not hard. It's only a couple hundred people, but still, that's half the town over again.
Yeah.
It's a lot. Female, it's kind of average, few more females than males. Median age is a little higher. Kind of these rural towns, you're kind of going to get that. It's almost 44. Normally, it's about 37 and a half. There's basically nobody here aged 18 to 30.
Is that right?
It's like a third of the normal 18 to 30-year-old population as normal.
That's interesting.
It's like if you need to get laid and like do shit, like they get
your
the
virile years.
Fuck out of this town.
Right.
There's no, and then they come back here. Like once they have a couple of kids, they're like, well, it's cheap and quiet
Good
back
and
there.
depressed.
Yeah, I'm going to go back there and just sink right into a nice warm depression for the next 40 or 50 years until I die out on the fields.
Yeah.
There we go. Now that's a day. Or I'm murdered by a neighbor. One of the two.
I'm kind of in.
That's what I mean. So, but 18, they're like, later.
Yeah.
No pussy in this town. Goodbye. And people trudging out here.
Or the opposite.
Or no dick in this town. All the dick in this town's covered in dust and manure. I'm getting out of here.
It's quite wrinkly.
It's disgusting in this town. So the marriage rate, too, a lot higher. Normally it's 50-50. Here it's 60%, which an older population, you're going to get that usually. And like I said, people like get married and come back here, it seems like. So obviously you get less single people, a few more divorces here than normal. I would think that, and I think like quarantining and shit like that over the last few months has brought that out.
Oh, I'll bet you the divorce rate is going to go through the fucking roof
There's a
by
lot.
December.
Yeah, people aren't used to spending time together.
No.
That's if you think about it, really, like a marriage, maybe your marriage, I don't know, not Jimmy's, but maybe like yours or somebody else's, like whatever, somebody you think about it. You go to work in the morning, you see somebody for a half hour, maybe you go to work, you come home. You see them, you eat dinner, you watch TV.
You get annoyed by the way they chew. We know.
Yeah, you spend like 3 hours together, and you're on your phone, you're dicking around, you're watching TV half the time.
The kids.
You're not really spending any time with these people whatsoever, and then to be slammed in
forever.
It's not good.
That's what it feels like.
It's worked. It's bad for some people. It really is.
It's not just bad. Sometimes it's disastrous. Sometimes it's worse.
So, well, there's been domestic shit, murders, and this is like what happens with athletes. Athletes, when their career's over, they go home and they're divorced within a year because the wife's like, well, I didn't expect you to be here all the time. The last 10 years, we've had a schedule where I get to get away from you for a couple of months
and
every
enjoy
year.
These large paychecks for a little bit.
It's and
he's like, you know what? I don't disagree. It was real nice being on the road with those women in the hotels.
Well, no, that's the other thing too, is they're on the road doing all their shit, and then they get home and they're fucking bored because they can't have sex with 3 strangers that night. So they're like, well, this sucks. Jesus Christ. And there's
dummy. Only one of you.
Maybe if you weren't doing that, you'd be satisfied with this. You're a jerk. So anyway, here there's a lot less single people with children, though. The people with kids are married. It's one of those deals.
As soon as you get pregnant, you lock it down.
Yeah, single with no children, 2.1% of the population.
Wow.
It's normally 10%. So
that's staggeringly low.
Staggeringly low. If you're looking for a carefree partner, good luck. It's 2 out of 100. And so that means, wow, that is not a lot at all.
Slim pickings.
That is, 20 people out of the whole town?
Right. And the chances that you're actually attracted to one of those 20...
It's like
very low.
It's like 30 people in the whole town are single with no children.
That's
staggering. I mean, and most of them are probably hideous too, just based on stats of normal,
not
averages.
necessarily appearance, but fucking personality. They've just got to be a tragedy.
One or the other.
People. Yeah,
either ugly or ugly personality, one of the two, or both.
Or both.
So, race of this town: 92% white, as you might expect in western Nebraska, and a 1.1% Asian.
Interesting.
Which is it's okay, sure. 1% Native American. They really whittled that down over the years from 100% to 1. Jesus Christ. 4.1% Hispanic. So it's not very. It's pretty white.
Yeah.
It's a white farming town.
It's not diverse.
No, not very. 56% of the people in this town are religious, so it's a little bit more. And they're split up pretty.
Really?
There's not a real dominant one here. There's some Catholics, some Lutherans, some Methodists, 8% other.
Oh.
A couple of Mormons thrown in there because, it is the West.
Right.
That's that.
Close enough to Utah.
0.0% Jewish, though.
It's
not going to work there. 0.0% Islam as well.
Mm-hmm.
So it's the way it is. We're not going to do politics till 2021 because I don't want to get yelled at for other people's votes. I'm just going over my list. So anyway, unemployment rate here is 4.1%, which is, a little over the average, but not too much. And some of those, you don't know when you have ranches and shit like that. It's the way unemployment figures are, it gets hard to figure out at that point. Now, the income, usually household income average in the U.S. is $57,500. Here it is $68,421.
Oh.
So there's a few extra bucks here.
They're making money.
They're making money, and transportation and warehousing are a quarter of the jobs here.
I wonder what that is.
It's usually 4% of the jobs, so it's definitely what they do here. I don't know if that's it's a stop off for rail. I don't know what it is, but that seems to be. I mean, it's employing 1 out of 4 people who are employed in this town.
Is the railroad considered both of those things? Because that's possibly what it is.
I mean, that would be transportation, warehousing, but yeah, it's literally 1 out of 4 people with jobs.
It's probably that.
Do that. So
it's got to be.
I mean, you add that, and then healthcare is 15%, and that's 40% of the people are either healthcare or doing that. Right. So it's pretty limited in terms of diversity of jobs to have. Cost of living, 100 is normal, regular. Here it's about 82, and the low thing is housing. Healthcare is way high. It's like 137. Housing is 50 out of 100, though. The median home cost here, $115,800.
Wow.
So not too shabby.
Yeah.
Over 70% of the houses are worth $150,000 or less in this town. So it's
not bad.
No, it's not. It's the real estate is cheap, and if you're looking for some, maybe we can help you find some with the Sutherland, Nebraska Real Estate Report. Your average 2-bedroom rental here is about $760 a month, which I don't even know if there is any, but there is actually one because it's for sale, like a strip of apartments.
Oh.
It's one of those 1-story. There's like 6 of them in a row. It's bleak looking.
It's a flat.
It's bleak looking, yeah. I found a 3-bedroom, 1-bath house. It's a house. It's a house. 2,833 square feet. So big place. $75,000 for it.
That's a giant place for one bathroom.
What
the fuck?
Might be 1.5. They just listed it poorly, but
that's bizarre.
That would be weird if you only had one bath. $75K though.
That's not bad.
You can throw another bathroom in there if you really want to. 4-bedroom, 1-bath, 1,704 square feet. Kind of ugly, but $80,000.
Okay.
So I mean, you can live with that if you have 3 kids and you want to stick them in their own rooms.
Again, sharing a bathroom.
Always. Then I found this one stretch out a little. You own the warehouse or whatever the fuck it is. I found a 6-bedroom, 6-bath T-bowl for every beehole.
Hell yeah.
Damn it. 7,000 square feet. Big place.
Picture of success.
$362,500.
What?
It's very cheap.
Get out of here.
I swear, that's cheap as
Oh
shit.
my God, I want that.
How cheap is that?
I want that here or somewhere livable.
Somewhere that's not rural Nebraska. That'd be terrific. Yeah, here that house would be $3 million.
Yeah.
$3 million.
About.
$3.62 million.
30 how many square feet?
7,000 square feet. 6 beds, 6 baths, 7,000 square feet.
Disgusting.
Yeah, that's a big house.
You have to own several Taco Bells to own that.
Several Taco Bells and a Del Taco to diversify.
And have a drug front.
There was also another house that was just hilarious because the entire side of the house, it's a big, 2-story house wall, was just the American flag painted.
Stop that.
They painted the flag on the entire, it was fucking huge. It's a house. It was a big drawing, a big painting. I was like, whoa, that's a lot.
I'm going to talk to that guy.
That is aggressive.
I want to hear all his stories.
Yeah, Wow, that's a lot. So, I don't know. Things to do here, not a lot, as you might imagine.
Right.
Even in the reviews it said. I found I think this is in North Platte. This is the 2019, because I think it's not going on anymore.
Nothing's happening this year.
Country Music Foundation.
Yes.
39th Annual Festival.
All right.
It's a terrible name.
The foundation.
It's a Country Music Foundation 39th Annual Festival. How about the 39th Annual Country Music Foundation Festival? How about that?
The Country Music Festival.
Move that 39th Annual up the front there, and you have yourself a coherent sentence.
And move foundation out of there. There's too many syllables in that shit.
It's just a lot.
Yeah.
It's a whole line. It's
CMF?
a lot. CMF, bitches. So they'll be at the Ag Activity Center.
Yeah.
Oh, boy, the Agriculture Activity Center at the Lincoln County Fairgrounds in North Platte. They have silent auctions and raffles and shit like that. They have banquet tickets as well. I don't know what that includes. Hors d'oeuvres, a meal, a door fee, and entertainment / dancing.
That sounds like a fuckload of money being raised for
$30.
nothing going out.
It's for the Country Music Foundation.
What the fuck do they need all this money for?
I don't know. I found this. You can, if you want to find out, you can contact Deb Shaw, who sounds like she runs. I have her phone number, but I won't give it out on this show because everyone's going to be, because you could. It says call or text. Everyone's going to be texting Deb. Hey, Deb. I'm not going to have hundreds of thousands of people texting poor Deb.
Asking her, where's the money going,
Dude,
Deb?
Deb, where's that cash go? Really? How much money do they need? $30? Is that high? What kind of hors d'oeuvres do you have? I can't do it to
Silent auction? People are paying too much for this
She's probably
shit.
a sweet lady who's just trying to do people a favor and, like, fucking set things up. She's like, I don't even spend them. I'm just a volunteer. I don't know. Why are
Open the books, Deb. Tell us.
I have to change my phone number now. We can't do that to poor Deb. We just can't.
I want to know.
Beverages and bar provided by the Last Chance Bar, which I assume they mean last chance before a long open stretch of highway.
And dry counties.
Yeah, which is what Sutherland kind of is there. Food catered by Rowdy Rott BBQ.
Ew.
ROTT, like Rowdy Rottweiler.
Yeah.
I assume their sign probably has a growling dog on it.
It's fucking better.
But it has the word rot, and you're selling me meat. So don't sell me meat with the word rot anywhere around it.
Ew.
No, thank you. There's a reason why Johnny Rotten didn't open a string of barbecue joints after the Sex Pistols. There's a reason why.
Yeah.
He's like, it's amazing. Johnny Rottens. And people are like, I don't think that's a good idea, bro.
Terrible idea.
Like, fuck. If I can't use my name, why bother?
It's trademarked.
It's terrible. Johnny Rotten. So
I go and make him Australian. Sorry.
it's fine. I made him. I don't even know what. An alien.
Whatever that is.
So whatever the fuck that was. So schedule provided. Now Saturday night's performances. Obviously, it's the Country Music Festival. There's going to be performances. They have 3 bands.
Only 3.
One is called OK Sisters.
Yeah. No,
it's not OK, comma sisters. Like, okay, sisters, listen up.
Yeah.
I OK sisters. So I look at it as okay, these sisters, like they're okay.
It's probably two chicks from Oklahoma.
That's what I thought after that. I'm like, maybe they're just from Oklahoma,
or they're trying to make a little play on the OK Corral.
Possibly.
Is it O.K?
No.
It's just OK.
Capital OK, like the state,
Oklahoma.
Abbreviated. Yeah. And their names are Kate and Karen, which are very unfortunate for a couple, because that's, I think, well, that was Kathy. Put upon Kathy.
Yeah,
if it was Kathy and Karen, that'd be perfect. So, also, John Longoria's West Wind.
Okay.
I don't know what's going on there.
Is it Ava's brother? West Wind?
West Wind.
Okay.
I don't know.
I hate it already.
Farts blowing westward.
Yeah.
And Lloyd McCarter and the Honky Tonk Revival.
Oh, boy.
Yeehaw. Scoop, dap, and beep, blop, bloop. That's happening, baby.
Last week, there was somebody in the festival that sang songs that I know.
Yeah.
And I didn't realize that, that it was the guy. These I have never fucking
Pretty
heard of,
sure you
ever.
don't have any OK sisters floating around in
Nothing
your phone
in my
there.
iPod.
No. Crime rate in this town, property crime is under half the average. It's less than half the national average. So it's low. Violent crime, murder, rape, robbery, and of course assault, the Mount Rushmore of crime, also very low. It's under 1/3 of the average. So
super safe.
Super safe. The people are spread out. There's not a lot going on.
Yeah.
You'd really have to make an effort to want to fuck with somebody in a place like this. This is a place where even if you were mad at someone, you'd have to go, Christ, I got to go all the way the fuck over there.
Yeah. But also, people are making money and spending very little.
Yeah,
that's a one way to keep your population
I think
docile.
so. And also, if people are spread out, they just fight less. There's just less reason to fight.
Right.
So that said, let's talk about a murder. Hey everybody, just going to take a quick break from the show to tell you about the safest sponsor ever, Simply Safe. Absolutely, these people will keep you safe. It's amazing. You know that every 26 seconds a burglary takes place in the United States, according to the FBI. That means that by the time this podcast is over, dozens and dozens of homes will have been targeted, ransacked, God knows what happens here. So protect your home before it's too late with Simply Safe proactive security system. Simply Safe helps stop threats before they even have a chance to break in. Named Best Home Security System by U.S. News and World Report 5 years in a row. And by us for about the last 8 years as well. If you trust us, Believe me, you want Simply Safe. So visit simplysafe.com/small to claim 50% off a new system with professional monitoring plan and your first month free. That's simplysafe.com/small. There's no safe like Simply Safe.
Now back to the show.
This show, Small Town Murder, is brought to you by BetterHelp. Get yourself some therapy, everybody. Honestly, here. We often hear about, red flags that you should avoid. Hey, that's a lot of a thing. It's become a real phrase now, real cliche. Yeah. But why don't you focus also, you look at like green flags in friends and partners. Look for good things as well. Right. And maybe you're not sure what that looks like, though. Therapy can help you figure that out. What are positive things? What are the green flags? And then you can practice them in your relationship. It's absolutely a fact. And so, honestly, we absolutely are huge advocates for this. It really, really helps. BetterHelp is fully online, making therapy affordable. It's convenient. They serve over 5 million people worldwide. You can access a diverse network of more than 30,000 credentialed therapists, wide ranges of specialties there. Here's the coolest part. You're not getting along with your therapist, you're just not feeling it, you can switch at any time, no extra charge.
Wow.
The thing is, they want you to get help. That's it. And you can do it with BetterHelp. Discover your relationship green flags with BetterHelp. Visit BetterHelp.com/smalltownmurder today to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/smalltownmurder.
Now back to the show.
Now that we've explained all the reasons why it doesn't happen here, let's tell you about something that has just inexplicably happened here. This, by the way, this case changed laws. Really? 2 Supreme Court rulings about separate issues in this made precedent. Like, this shit is a huge case out of such a tiny little weird acorn. A giant oak tree of shit bloomed. little shit corns dropping off all over the place.
Smacking people in the head.
I just like to go out in your yard and have that. Oh, it's shit corn season. It's littering the ground. Oh, God.
I hate fall.
Ah, shit. It looks like a fucking giant rabbits have been running around our yard. This is terrible.
Pumpkin lattes remind me of the shit corn.
Fall's the worst season. It's shit corn season. So, yeah, put that on the menu, Starbucks. Right. Give me a shit corn latte, and then you're tell you what, sold.
You can't even go outside. You stuff in the shit corns.
Yeah, pumpkin doesn't remind me of fall. It's the shit corns. That's what always reminded me of fall. Me and my family would go out and collect the shit corns and, something special.
Pumpkin spice candles in the house just remind me that we're trying to knock down the shit corn smell. That's what it is.
Yeah, we had to cut down our shit corn tree when I was a kid. It was too much.
Yeah.
Got to be too much. Yeah, it's rough. So, to talk about this murder, first of all, I must describe how this newspaper, and this is a national article, and the local Lincoln newspaper was very helpful for this and everything. But this one here, this is how the town is described in the newspaper nationally and everything else. I got this one from a Honolulu newspaper just to see how far it went, and it goes far. Honolulu, so as far as it goes for the U.S. anyway. It says, quote, Sutherland, Nebraska is a bleak prairie village that vibrates when the long Union Pacific freight trains thunder through. Its people, ranchers and railroad workers, now swollen with construction crews building a state power plant, view North Platte with the suspicion that North Platte views Omaha and that Omaha views New York. Okay.
Well done, Chemo.
Dude, that's
a guy wrote that on the beach.
Bro, that's what we're dealing with.
The shit out of your town.
But they basically said they sit here and sneer at big North, like Omaha looks at New York, which is like, man, look at all them over there. That's how they look at North Platte.
Jesus.
Thinking they're fancy over there with their country foundation festivals and the OK Sisters.
Cats Up packets.
We can we can get the OK Sisters to come here too, thinking you're fucking fancy. And you spell it cats up. That's how we do it here. God damn it. So I don't care if you say it the other way. That's how we like to do it.
There's no CH in cats up.
A long time ago, the mayor spelt it like that, and we've just been doing it ever since. It's just how it is here. So we must talk about, first of all, a young man in the 1970s, because we're going to go back to the 1970s for this. 1970s.
Class.
The town has about a little less than 800 people here.
Jesus.
It's, it's the 70s in western, bleak Nebraska. So, put whatever scope you want on that, or whatever prism,
Instagram filter.
Yeah, whatever prism you want to see that through. So first we must talk about a man named Erwin Charles Simmons, Simants.
Okay.
Simants, however you want to say it. Simons. Erwin here, sometimes known as Herbie for some reason.
Yeah.
Why? I don't know. Why not?
It's the 70s.
It's the 70s. Yeah, anything. It's the 70s, and it's like western Nebraska, so you can really.
He might drive a Volkswagen, and people are like,
Herbie, look at you.
Right.
Or maybe he's just small and white, which he is actually. He's 5'7", 130 pounds.
It's a real Herb.
So he's a little Herbie. Yeah, he's a little tiny little guy. So, I mean, that's 130 it's thin.
That's a light dude.
Because you're 5'7", what do you weigh?
180.
Well, there you go. That's what I mean. You got 50 pounds on this guy.
I don't look
No, you're not
chubby, but
you're not a fucking big guy. So
minus the shirt, I look terrible.
130, you would look awful. You look
sick.
Emaciated.
Yeah.
I would take you to the hospital if you came over 130 pounds. Jimmy, what happened? Oh my God, Jimmy,
I'm doing great.
Falling over.
I'm so hungry.
Oh God,
don't touch me. I bruise easy.
I'm in pain. I'm in a lot of pain. Are you okay?
No.
I think I have aggressive cancer, but I'm thin. I like it. I'm thin.
I got the Stephen King.
I haven't eaten in 6 months, but I'm thin. So Erwin.
Right.
Erwin here, he's born about 1945, so, you can keep that in mind as we go through it. He is one of 9 kids.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, 9 kids. His dad's name is Amos.
Yeah, it is.
Amos and Grace are his parents.
Holy.
Amos and Grace on the farm with 9 kids. This is different.
Amoses don't exist anymore, right?
Not a lot of them. No, there's
unless it's some like Hollywood douche celebrity naming their kid.
Something, yeah. Not a lot of Amoses running around the farm anymore, and Grace has come and gone. It's come back again.
It's coming. It's coming back.
Well, now it's whatever names sound like an old lady. That's what people name their kids now. That's what it is. It's a beautiful name. Gertrude. Isn't it wonderful? No.
What about Francis?
How about Beatrice? Right. Isn't Beatrice? People are naming their kids fucking Beatrice all over the place. It's like, there hasn't been a woman named Beatrice since 1893.
Right.
And now you're like, Beatrice, that's going to work. Okay.
Miss Arthur died. Let her rest.
Yeah, come on. Leave her alone. God damn it. Leave Dorothy Spornak alone. Leave Maud in peace.
Let everybody rest.
So he's born out there. He's from this area. His parents are, long time residents. Lived through the Dust Bowl here, and this is a different kind of time. Now, he's not a bright guy.
No.
Let's just right away put that on the table here. He's not a bright guy, but he's considered a kind of an average guy and a decent guy. He's not a troublemaker at all. He doesn't go off the hinges. He's not starting fights. At 5'7", 130, that's probably for the best. He's not getting beat up constantly, Yeah, it's
probably
smart
to his own interest.
Yeah, and maybe he tried that at an earlier age. It was like, Jesus, this hurts.
That's not a good idea.
It hurts to be an asshole when you're this big. Fuck. So he actually, in the mid-60s, he finds a wife. So he gets married very young in his early 20s and marries this woman, and they end up having a young daughter. And the daughter dies before she's a year old.
Fuck.
The baby passes away. And this messes the marriage completely. They're young.
Right.
They have a baby. And like I said, that's a tragedy for anybody.
Yeah.
Yeah, even if
doesn't matter how it goes.
No matter how solid your marriage is, no matter how long you've been together, how mature everybody is, that's an emotional thing that's going to rip it's going to rip everything apart.
Barring parental murder, any way that child dies is not good for me, for anybody.
It's going to fuck the marriage up like a gremlin jumping in and pulling wires out. That's what basically that is. It's going to
New York, New York.
Going to just exactly opening up its trench coat, showing its little gremlin dick to everybody. I loved that part.
The second one was.
I love that he was a pervert too. Like on top of everything else, he's also a fucking pervert. Like but not like an outright rape.
No.
It's just like, hey, look at that, honey.
Have
Like,
a look at that gremlin.
hey,
dick.
I'm gonna whack it later. Thinking about this, like, what a weird. It's just fucking funny. They're just thinking, what are all the gross people in bars? Let's make the gremlins do that.
The best part is that you know exactly what it looked like too. Like you don't
yeah.
even have to see it. You know,
Green and shriveled.
Yeah, it's not big.
No,
it's not impressive.
Like a green Tootsie Roll, but that's been in a washing machine and then dryer afterwards, and it's kind of melted.
And the shocking,
and
horrifying part is how
dried.
small it is.
Yeah, you're like, oh god,
Jesus.
What if he just had like a giant, like magnificent, like veiny black cock hanging down, like just a. One thing you'd be like, whoa,
Wow.
like majestic. Like one where you'd be like, God damn. Right. Where everybody just not objectively, they'd be like, that's a hell of a cock right there.
That's a lot of dick.
I mean, I'm not into it or nothing,
Right.
but it's a good dick.
Being honest, I'm really uncomfortable, but I'm not looking at it.
I'd still like to give you a high five, sir. It's an impressive dick. And I'm talking men, women, everybody,
Yeah.
just as a matter of like,
Just respect.
yeah. Like if you saw somebody like, dunk from the foul line, you'd be like, damn, that was
Wow.
pretty sweet.
Good for you.
Same thing.
Yeah. There's nothing for me, but
Yeah.
that was cool.
Again, it's just nature both ways. If you can jump from the foul line or if your cock is magnificent, either way, it's nature. So it's compliments. So he gets a divorce. They end up getting a divorce, this couple, the young couple.
That's it.
And it's you
Can't
expect
blame
it.
them,
Yeah, you really do expect it. Now, the years of the divorce, I've seen conflicting reports and both from court documents, so I don't know which one is right. He either got divorced in 1967 or he got divorced in 1971. Oh. Not sure which. It really is irrelevant, but I'm not sure. So if somebody looked it up.
4-year gap.
4-year gap. So I'm not sure which one. Either way, the daughter passed away kind of. That precipitated the divorce. Okay. So that's how that went.
Perhaps it was filed in 67 and final in 71?
That's possible.
Yeah.
That's possible because it was in two different court documents. Yeah. But the one thing was, and it mattered to the case slightly, that his ex-wife hasn't seen him, hadn't seen him since then. They haven't really had any contact. So whether it was from 67 or 71 sort of makes a difference in the trial. But other than that, it really doesn't matter. So anyway, he's not the brightest guy. No. Like I said, he has a 75 IQ,
okay,
which is, I'd call that a cool 75. It's low.
Yeah.
It's on the low side,
right.
Definitely. It's, you're in Gump range in that. A little higher, but you're in range of, within margin of error of Forrest Gump is what I mean. Like if it was an election, you'd go, that's in the margin of error on a poll. That's a margin of error to Gump. It's not good.
It's rural, educated Nebraska, but it's also
that's IQ though. That's not education.
Yeah, but it's lack of like nutritional development,
maybe.
Possibly. Yeah. Too much corn.
I don't know if Grace and Amos are related. Who knows? Or you never know. You have 9 kids. Maybe 2 of them are fucking geniuses, and one of them does this. I mean, I don't know.
Chances of you having somebody that's a little slower.
If you have 9,
a little higher.
Yeah, 1 out of 9 people are a little, aren't that bright.
Right.
So there you go. 1 out of, it's true though. Yeah. I've seen families that have smart kids and dumb kids. It's just a matter of it's a crapshoot. Who knows what the fuck? What stew got cooked up that night? It's scary.
My mom got pregnant 6 times and had 3 miscarriages. I wonder if one of those was the genius.
You never know. That's what I mean. She took out the wrong slugs in a Russian roulette game, and you never fucking know what happened. Wrong shells, ma.
Whoops, the daisy.
Whoops. So
hi.
Hey,
are you proud of me?
How you doing? I'm the one you chose, or not you chose. I miscarried. I'm the one that worked.
I'm the genes that stayed together.
Imagine what the other ones would have happened. Jesus. So he's IQ of 75. So you can take from that what you will. But like I said, not a troublemaker. He's not going around, petting dogs too hard and hurting them because he doesn't get it or anything like that. He's fine. He does his thing. He's kind of marginally employed.
Okay.
One of those guys. He's kind of he's on the margins. He's like a fence builder and a handyman, and he doesn't own any property to have a ranch. He doesn't really have any skills to do anything else. He's kind of got a little bit of a drinking thing. He drinks a little bit, hangs out at the bars and drinks. And
that sounds like frustration drinking.
And boredom, too, and loneliness and boredom and everything else. And what the hell is he going to do? Sit and look at the prairie at night? I mean, there isn't a lot to do.
You get it.
If you've been building fences all day, when you're done, what do you do?
Spin your wheels all day. You got to get some lubricant in there.
And it's the 70s, too, so it's not like, oh, well, I got, I'll go home and see what's on Hulu.
Right.
No, there's nothing to do. There's
MASH.
in the middle of nowhere. There's like 2 channels out here. You're not even getting network feeds of all of them.
Right.
In the middle of here, you got a goddamn antenna, and good luck to you. So he ends up by 1975. He's unemployed. He's trying to do handyman work here and there, but he's just unemployed. He's drinking more and more. He's living with his sister in Sutherland here at the end of a long street. There's like a long, kind of a rural, dusty road with 2 houses at the end of it.
Okay.
That's kind of where we are here.
Oh, my.
Fun, huh?
Oh, boy.
That's where he's living with the sister.
You're around the corner, and you're like, it's just down there.
Oof, Jesus. Well, I don't want to go down there alone. I got to bring people.
There's a lot of distance between here and there, and nothing there.
Nothing there. I'm going to call someone and tell them where I am, just so they know. So I don't trust this at all. So he lives with his sister. Here he is. I'll show you a picture of him, Jimmy.
Well,
there he is. There.
Those are some interesting sideburns. Is that a beard?
It's 1975.
Okay,
so he's got the long sideburns down the side.
But they're long, not just the length of them, but
the length of the hair.
The hair involved is
Again,
is he smoking?
He's smoking a cigarette.
Okay.
Again, that's the 70s. You let your sideburns, that long
just
hair on
meet
them.
up a bit.
It was pretty gross.
But they're thin. You know what I mean? That's a weird sideburn.
I don't think he grows facial hair well, but he wants to have cool sideburns because it's the 70s. And but that's
hard
him.
On those.
He's got an early comb over here.
Yeah, he does.
He's only about 30 in this picture.
Really?
He's got a hard. It's a hard comb.
It's a hard part and a push.
Hard part and push. Yeah, it's not going to go well. You see future pain there for him.
There's a lot of sadness in that face.
A lot of. I see a lot more rural drinking nights for this guy.
Not a lot behind those eyes.
No. And everybody says that when his daughter died, he was never like an up-and-comer, bright-eyed and bushy-tailed or anything. But when his daughter died, it kind of just took a little more light out of his eyes.
I imagine.
Which is understandable. Yeah. And that's also very normal. That also shows a normal emotional response, which is good. And if your infant daughter dies, you should be crushed, and you should give that a mourning process. Yeah.
Not parsing between male or female either, but
no, it doesn't matter.
You lose your daughter, and as a father, man, you feel like a way worse dude.
It's different. It's 4% worse. For a father, I think, not than a mother, but for a father if it's a girl than a boy dying. So you'd be like, that's your daughter. You're supposed to protect her.
Fuck, what have I done?
Exactly. Yeah. And obviously, this was an illness, and it was nothing that anybody, or it might have been SIDS even. I'm not sure. So it was not a preventable death. It wasn't like she fell in the pool or something. It was definitely a very unpreventable thing here. Now, his ex-wife, Mary, her name is Mary Olson. She says that she went to the doctor. This is so weird. She said that her and her sister know him, and her sister remained friends with him after they got divorced. Okay. And that the sister had told her that the sister went to the doctor with him at one point, and he has apparently she was saying he has some sort of, she says this in 1975, that he has like a tumor the size of a fist in his stomach.
Jesus.
Okay, but I don't know. That's not possible, because we'll find out. Okay. But it's just a strange thing here. She says that the ex-wife, Mary Olson, said that her sister, who was, quote, very close to Irwin, told her a doctor advised him that he would not live past age 30 without a surgery to remove the growth. Okay. Which by 1975 he is 30, so that prediction's blown.
And is it cancer, or is it just a growth?
We don't know. It's a growth. They just called it a growth. They didn't say.
Ovarian cyst.
He's got a big ovarian cyst growing. It's very painful. Yeah. So they said that she said that he told a bunch of other people the same thing, and this was like whatever like a known thing. Oh, he's got a big tumor in his stomach. He's got to get it removed.
Okay.
Irwin with the two.
Right.
Cysty Irwin or Cysty Herbie over there.
I grow two things: sideburns and tumors.
Sideburns, tumors, and corn. That's me, baby. It's the trifecta.
Triple threat.
Triple threat. They call me Herbie Trifecta. Back where I'm from.
I'm Herbie Hat Trick.
Herbie Hat Trick.
Sideburns, tumors, and corn.
Boom. That's right. So,
Patrick Herbie.
No, he never has it removed.
Okay.
He's apparently, according to Olson, he was afraid of doctors, so he didn't have the operation.
Okay.
He fears doctors.
I did that with dentists for a long, long time.
Well, yeah, this is apparently he's afraid of anybody with a white coat on.
Okay.
Anybody. So she describes him as, quote, very sweet and gentle. He values life very highly because of how sad he was when the baby died and all that sort of thing. And she even later on, we'll talk about that later on, but she gets back in touch with him, Mary, and they still talk, and she remains kind of a confidant for him at a later date. Very strange. So they must have had a semi-amicable divorce.
Yeah.
He clearly didn't terrorize her or stalk her, or she didn't get away from him to save her life or anything like that. She has nothing but nice things to say about him. She's just like, it just didn't work out.
How amazing are those people?
Right? Amicable divorces. Yeah.
Gone through a divorce and we just realized we're better off as friends. We did? What?
Yeah.
Whose idea was that?
My parents were always like that, and I was always like,
bullshit.
What the hell happened to you two? I never believed
Who hates who?
They were always nice to each other. They always said nice things about each other. I'm like, I don't know about this.
Something's off.
This is fishy. This whole thing is fishy, goddammit. So October 18th, 1975. This is a normal day for Irwin, we'll say. He's hanging out. He really doesn't have anything to do. No work or anything like that. It's a fall day in the middle of nowhere.
No work today.
So, nope. He went to a couple of bars.
Hell yeah.
In Sutherland, put back a couple of beers. A couple of his friends were there, guys he used to know from work, and a cousin, and this one, maybe a brother or sister over there. And
awesome.
It's a small town, so if there's not a lot to do.
What a day.
Especially back there. So you'll run into people if you go to the bar. You know everybody there. So finally, he lives with his sister. By the way, the sister's husband's name is Butchie Boggs, which is one of the better names we've ever come across on this show. Pretty goddamn good.
So it's his sister, her husband. Do they have kids?
Yeah, there's other people there too.
Boy.
They have a 13-year-old son as well here. So he lives with her, like we said, at the end of that road. So about 8:00 p.m. on October 18th, 1975, he's hanging out at the bar. His sister's there as well.
Yeah.
A bunch of people are there. He asks his sister to take him to her house because he's done for the night. He's like, I'm done. I don't know if he's out of money or if he's been drinking all afternoon.
Right.
But not like he's not shit-faced or anything. He's just been kind of
maintaining,
hanging out, having a beer, not like pounding to get drunk. Just this has been his hangout for the day. Social, exactly. So no one said he was stumbling away or anything like that.
This is 45 years ago, like 2 days ago.
Yeah, this is that's kind of
fascinating.
It's like a Halloween. It's that same month. That's kind of why I picked it.
Okay.
So there we go. I have themes and things that I'm doing here. Yeah, that's why I like doing this shit. So he ends up doing that. And she takes him home. Now, at the end of the street, like we said, there's only two houses here. There is the Boggs residence, where he lives with his sister's son, other people in and out,
Smattering of Boggses.
Smattering of the Boggses. Well, that's the brother-in-law's name. So, smattering of Boggses and Simances and all sorts of people in there. So next door to them is the other house sitting there, is the residence of a guy named Henry Kelly. Kellie for Kelly. Now, the Kelly family, Henry Kelly is known as the sweetest man in the town.
Really?
Everybody likes him. He's kind of semi-retired. He's 66 years old.
Hell yeah.
He's semi-retired. He does some farm work to supplement his Social Security.
Okay.
He's that kind of guy. He's got stuff, he's...
Easy life.
Yeah, and he enjoys his life. Right. He worked hard his whole life.
He's been through it.
Yeah, that's the thing. He and his wife adopted their granddaughter, Florence, whose mother had been killed in an auto accident.
Oh, my.
So that's how nice people they are.
Yeah.
He's like a pastor sometimes, just like an amateur. It's not making any money off it, but
fucking around.
He just likes to spread the word of how happy he is, I feel like, and how wonderful the world is. That's how it feels to me.
Right.
Like he's just, let me tell you about
I'm doing
life.
this shit for free.
Life can be good.
Right.
And I'll tell you how. You got to be me. And he is him. So Henry Kelly, his wife also, Marie Kelly, he's 66, she's 57, and they have their son David, who lives down the street, and his kids as well. He's got a couple of kids, Deanna, who's 7 years old, Daniel's 5 years old. So David, Deanna, and Daniel are always over the house. They eat dinner there most nights. They live, not too far away, so they stop by, see the parents. Very nice. And then also living there is the adopted granddaughter, Florence, who's 10 years old. So 66, 57, son 32, his kids 7 and 5, granddaughter adopted 10.
Right.
So there you go. That's the kind of...
Why the fuck didn't Daniel step up and keep my life happy? You adopt this little girl because you got little
younger.
kids already.
You're younger. Just she blends
She'd be
in.
your oldest kid.
I was going to say, she's 10. You give her like 2 years, she can babysit for you. This is great. You and your wife can go out
me
and
do this?
Go to weird swinger parties and shit in North Platte. You know how they are over there in North Platte, all weird.
My sermon got a little sadder when I had to do this. It was so happy.
By the way, one of the newspapers I was reading from here was the funniest shit because... Have you ever seen the movie Ed Wood?
Yeah.
Okay, Ed, I love the movie Ed Wood, right? So in that movie, like the guy he sees, what's his name from Dumb and Dumber,
Jeff Daniels.
No.
Who are we talking about?
The big guy.
The big guy.
He's
fucking
Frenchy in Goodfellas,
right.
and he's good.
I forget
that guy.
his name.
He's the guy who is like Johnny Depp is pitching his first film to, and he's talking about in the movie the guy's like a transsexual and all this type of shit. So he says the guy's like, those repressed Okies love that fucking shit. I'm done. Well, they'll eat it up. Those repressed, they love it. And so I always laughed at that. But then I was looking in the paper from 1975. And it is just all porn in all the theaters in this fucking place.
Really?
It is just porn. Come see this. One was like, she's worth every inch or some shit. And then it was like all these 70s porn. One had had a name I reckon, like a 70s porn name I recognized. Like, I know who that guy
Ron
is.
Stiffington?
Yeah, one of those. A hard Cockingberg and
So it's all that, and then
Cock Hardman is his name,
and like Casablanca at 7, and then Casa Cockman at
exactly. No, that's what was playing, like porn, and then there'd be like a theater playing literally Disney Bambi, and then it was porn.
Hilarious.
Hard cock Bambi. Wet
cock.
snatch. It was just boom. That's what it was advertised. Very strange.
Unreal.
But with Bambi in the middle getting Eiffel Towered by Cock Hardington.
And dear housewife, don't mix up showtimes.
Yeah, watch out. Don't come before.
Or you'll be coming before.
Must be out of the theater by 10 because shit's about to get sticky. Everybody.
Your kids are going to sit in a puddle, too.
Oh, it's going to be gross. So
how crazy is that was a fucking business in America for so long?
Sitting around and getting horny in public.
Tugging in public. Constantly.
Public tugging. I mean,
That's fucking wild.
That is a strange, odd...
It doesn't make any sense to me.
But back then, what else could you do?
Yeah.
Like, if you wanted porn in the 70s, you had to get like a film and project it on a fucking wall. Literally, like, that's how you watched porn at home. You had to order a film out of the back of a magazine, and they sent you reels of film.
Reel to reel.
Fucking project on a sheet. That's insane.
Then you sit in your fucking...
That's how
in your
people
attic,
watch porn.
Fucking family vacation.
Yeah, like Chevy Chase and Christmas Vacation, except with porn and not family movies. It's going to be not attractive.
Man.
And then once, obviously, videotapes came and people could rent them, then it was like, why the hell am I going out? I could whack it in my living room.
It was so hard to be a deviant. Maybe that's why society was so fucked up and there were so many awful people.
You had to be so in the shadows because it was everything that's dirty and this is that. Once sex was out in the open, I feel like it was a little...
We solved the problem.
A little easier.
Stop being so shameful about it.
Yeah.
Just do it.
Which is weird which is strange because we moved the whacking inside.
Right.
Meanwhile, they were not shameful at all. They were whacking in a public place before.
Right.
But they were shameful about doing the least shameful thing possible.
It's weird.
No shame in your public whacking game, you know what I mean? But then again, now it's less shameful. It's so weird.
I don't get it.
People will admit to whacking it in their living room. They won't admit to going to see a movie and whacking it with a group of other men.
Or worse, like a tug studio where there's like the window that pops up and a girl like fingering herself, and then you're tugging to that. Like, why is it so shamed?
I remember when I was a kid, dude, there was some gross shit because this was like
it's New York.
Yeah, when I was a kid, like before, like it got all Disneyfied and shit. Like it was fucking gross in a great way. It was dirty and filthy. Yeah. And I remember, like, I had friends that we'd be like 12, but they'd be like, I went down in the city with my older brother, right? And because we were like an hour from the city, went down to the city with my older brother. He took me to this booth. The 12-year-old kid. Yeah. It's like, you give this lady $5 and you can just stick anything you want in her. And I'm like, what are you talking about?
Why do you do that?
Why would you want to stick anything in her? I remember being like, he's like, no, you put like your fingers in there. I'm like, the look on my face was just the same look as when they give me mayonnaise and a shiny bun on my burger. I'm just like, no, don't do that. And I'm thinking, Jesus, well, I don't know who's the bigger victim here. This is just gross in every way, shape, or form. And he's 12, like
smiling about it.
Like, oh, it was great. You're going to love it. You got to go down there. I'm like, no, I don't think so. I don't think I'm going to do that. That is gross. But that's the type of grossness that used to be available.
It's either that or you fill a sandwich bag with Vaseline and jam it in the couch cushions. You know, that's which one's worse, James?
I mean,
because I know dudes that did that shit and then openly told us. And you're like,
they do both of that.
Why'd you do that?
Yeah, I feel like they do both.
A, why'd you do it?
One would fuel the other.
B, why are you telling me?
Don't tell me about
fucking
that.
Creep.
Jesus Christ.
You can't get the ones with the seal because that'll chafe you. You got to get the ones that have the full.
You know,
you're telling me
sandwich,
the difference,
not
between,
the Ziploc.
Tell me the difference between which bag is fuckable.
You'd have to assume you'd have to fold the Ziploc back. Otherwise, you'd be in trouble.
It's horrendous.
Oh, man. So, back to this mess here from our mess.
Which one's grosser? We'll see.
Yeah, 50-50. 6-1. So, they live next door, like we said. Mr. Kelly, by the way, Henry has been he helps Irwin out.
Yeah.
He does. He's nice to him. He helps everybody out. And Irwin's right next door, so he helped him out. And as a matter of fact, 20 days earlier, because this is the 18th, this was 20 days earlier, Mr. Kelly bailed Irwin out of jail and paid a fine for him so he wouldn't have to stay in jail. Right. He got picked up for not paying a fine for public intoxication.
And then couldn't pay the fine for that.
Couldn't pay it, so they put him in jail.
Okay.
So Henry Kelly came down and paid $50 and sprung him because he felt bad for him. He's like, hey, he was drunk. It's no reason for the guy to sit in jail because he was drunk 2 months ago. That's dumb. Nobody got hurt. Yeah. Why should he be there? So... And they said that one person, a neighbor, said Henry had done this sort of thing for years. If anybody needed a helping hand, he always gave it to him. That's just the way he was. Yeah, he's just one of these nice, kind, salt-of-the-earth people. If you knocked on his door and said you were whatever, he'd say, well, why don't you come on in here and get a lemonade and some fried chicken and some, nice cornbread, homemade.
And we'll talk about it.
Yeah, she's been making cornbread all day. It's been just wonderful. You're going to love it. It's delicious. Want some fresh honey on that?
Oh, boy, do I.
Butter from the farm? You'd be like,
I want it.
Yes, I do.
Yeah.
That's the type of thing I feel like. They're just generous, helping nice people. Mm-hmm. So during this time, through October, the last couple weeks, Irwin's been doing odd jobs around Mr. Kelly's house to try to repay him because he doesn't have any cash to repay him. So they just kind of, if something needs to be done, go physical shit that 66-year-old man doesn't feel like doing. He'll dig a hole or he'll do something like that for him. Working it off. And a nice arrangement. I mean, that's
pretty sweet deal.
That's right neighborly.
I'd rather work on your farm than be in jail.
Who wouldn't?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I think this guy would rather have help than have $50 and his neighbor in jail. So, yeah, what the hell? So he's living there next door, and this is going on. Seems like a nice thing here because he is unemployed as well. Apparently, Simmons used to work at the Hershey grain elevator at one time. So
not the chocolate factory.
No, I'm wondering if that would count as warehousing transportation, like warehousing a grain elevator. Yeah. So if they store a lot of grain here, which maybe it's kind of a central grain clearinghouse for Nebraska,
I could see it.
It's on the rail line. Maybe farther farms bring it to places like this to get on for rail.
Still a tough job.
Still seems like that's a tough one.
Fuck that job.
It sounds hot and dusty.
Yep.
Very dusty. Mm-hmm. You'd always have... You'd cough up like pieces
chunks of grain.
Yeah, chunks of flora.
Right.
You'd be coughing up. What is that?
Jesus.
Why is that's green with oats in it?
With a man telling you break's over a lot.
A lot.
Yeah.
Well, your one break and it's over. So this was, this is working off some shit and living with his sister is better than working at the grain elevator, I guess, or whatever the hell it's called. Yeah, grain elevator. So, like we said, the family, the Kellys there, they lived about a block away. There was the 2 kids and the son of the Kellys, but they go over there and eat dinner. So now back to Irwin. He goes back to his sister's house after drinking with his sister and everybody. She leaves him there and goes back to the bar. Okay. So, he ends up hanging out. He's got his 13-year-old nephew there, his sister's kid. So he hangs out with the 13-year-old nephew. And he's very good with like 13-year-old kids because he's pretty simple.
Yeah.
He's kind of on their level. And so,
talk about the same shit.
That's what I mean. It's kind of the same level of maturity. So he hangs out with the 13-year-old for a while, hangs out 20 minutes, half hour. They bullshit, shoot the shit. And then he goes into his sister and brother-in-law's bedroom and ends up grabbing a .22 rifle from in there. And, he gets some shells from, some bullets there. He's got them. His brother-in-law has them. Loads it all up. And he says that, he's going outside. He tells his nephew to, because there's littler kids too, keep the kids in the house. I'm going to go outside and be shooting. So, you want to keep them in the house.
Weird day.
Don't want to hit any any strays hitting the kids. That's how rural this is. That somebody's just like, that's an activity. I just go grab my gun and run in the backyard in the dark after I've been drinking all day and just buck some shots off.
Fucking weird thing to do.
It's a strange thing to do.
I've got guns, and that's strange.
You don't get drunk and go shoot them in your backyard?
I don't. No.
No?
I don't.
9 o'clock at night, you're just like, man, I feel like popping some shots off. I want to feel powerful right now. Doesn't happen?
I don't.
Surprised, Jimmy.
Not really no.
No?
I'll go shoot it, but like, I'll go out in the desert. It's an all day thing.
It's a scheduled thing.
Yeah.
It's not like I've been drinking all day. I'm kind of bored.
Right.
Let me pop a clip in this gun and go outside.
I got to get the fuck out of this place. And away from everybody. And it's an all day thing because you got to drive for fucking ever in this
desert,
goddamn state.
Yeah, you got to drive to
get away from people.
Where else do you want to shoot?
Yeah.
I
mean, they've got indoor places here.
Oh, okay.
But that sounds awful.
That
I don't want
sounds
to be
terrible.
around
Yeah,
fucking
you don't want to.
gun nuts.
You're too crammed in with these people.
Right.
Yeah, I understand.
Or people
that.
are like, "What you got there? Shut the fuck up." That's what I've got here.
Otherwise, you're going to shoot in the middle of Greenway Road. Like, there's not a real.
There's not a lot
in the city. There's not a lot of places to shoot, really. So he goes out and he's got a loaded gun. Keep the kids in the house and I'll be outside. So he wanders outside. He's gone for about 45 minutes. Some shots are heard here and there. Nobody's paying attention. He returns in about 45 minutes. Unloads the rest of the rifle.
Right
there you go, and puts the rifle. Puts the bullets that he took and unloaded. Puts them away. And then he writes a note on the kitchen table.
Yep.
He says, quote, "I am so sorry to all. It is the best way out. It is the best way out. Do not cry." CRIE, by the way. So just to give you a little insight, he spells cry wrong. 3-letter words. So
that's an emotion word that everybody knows since they were, I don't know, fucking 5.
Cry is a easy one.
It's a tough one for him.
He adds an extra
trips
letter
him
and
up.
trips him up a little bit. So that's a weird note to leave on the table. Sounds like a suicide note, right? I'm sorry, don't cry. This is the best way out. That seems normal, but no, doesn't commit suicide or anything. Writes the note out and then sits down with his nephew and calmly tells them that, you should tell you what I need you to do. I did something. So call your mom. Call, my sister here. Call your mom and, call also your grandparents, my parents, and tell them that I just went next door and killed everybody.
Oh, boy.
I just killed all the Kellys. All of them. I just he names them all off. Killed him. Killed this one.
Oh my God.
I killed her too. And then he came in, so I had to kill him.
Jeez.
And then I also killed him.
Did he?
I killed this one.
Oh, he got the kids.
They're all dead.
He's an asshole.
He said he's killed the entire family. So the teenager doesn't believe him.
Yeah.
Because he's not a real consistent guy. And he's had a few.
Yeah.
So you're like, is he fucking with me?
Right.
What? Someone who has no history of violence, calm, normal guy, just tells you I went outside and come back in. I just killed all of our neighbors is a weird thing where you're like, why? We don't even have beef with them. Like, don't you like that guy? Like, why the fuck would you do that?
Just got you out of jail, man.
Absolutely. So it's at this moment where everybody who's in Sutherland hanging out, they're watching on TV. One of the things on here in the local affiliate is The Deadly Tower. Oh? The movie The Deadly Tower is on.
I don't know it.
It's a big it's a movie event here. It's a big disaster movie where people are dying in a deadly tower. Clearly, obviously. That's only for what I got from the newspaper. Okay. So at 9:18 p.m., KNOP, which is the local affiliate station here.
Nope.
K-Nope. K-Nope. Fuck it.
Thanks for watching Nope, everybody.
Thanks for watching K-Nope. So Don Feldman comes on the air. He is the only full-time newsman at the station. It's a very small station in a very small area. This is when it gets real rural right now. This is when it's the small-town murder aspect of this whole thing gets crazy. So he gets a call from the sheriff's office, or someone who says they're from the sheriff's office, saying, quote, something terrible has happened in Sutherland. Hop Gordon, by the way, or Hop Glister, the sheriff's name is Sheriff Hop.
Awesome.
Like fucking Stranger Things. Yeah. It's not Hopper, but his nickname is Hop, so they all call him Hop. It's pretty awesome. Fucking awesome. Yeah. I'm like, this is cool as shit. Sheriff Hop's on the case. Sweet. Yeah. So Hop here, I'm just calling him Hop from now on. Hop Glister, the sheriff here, quote, wants you to put the following warning on the air immediately. So he's saying, interrupt the movie. Yeah. This is the sheriff's department. Interrupt the movie. Sheriff needs you to tell everybody this. Quote, everybody lock your doors and windows. Don't answer your door without a thorough check of the person knocking or ringing on doorbells. There's a sniper loose with a shotgun and he's killing people. Shotgun. So there's no information. The fucking town goes ape shit.
Yeah.
Think about everybody sitting here quietly watching a movie. All of a sudden, lock your windows, lock your doors. Maniac on the loose. He's shooting everybody. People were like, holy shit.
Not just maniac on the loose. He's fucking armed.
Is an armed gunman. Yeah. He's fucking, don't lock your windows. That to me, that says there's a person going out there to random houses shooting strangers.
Door to door. You're probably next.
Yeah. I'd look out the window, but not turn the lights out first because he'll shoot you through the window.
Not through the peephole.
Not through that peephole, boy. That's. Hey, everybody, just going to take a quick break from the show and tell you all sorts of good stuff about Chime. That's what I'm talking about. There's so many extra fees you have to pay in life. Everything. You go to the airline, there's an extra ticket on that. There's extra fee on every fees, hotels, fees, all this type of stuff. We're trying to make progress, and the next thing you know, here comes another fee coming at you, and it's more money than you expected, and your whole math is thrown off, and it's awful. Learn more at chime.com/smalltownmurder. Chime is great with that stuff. I mean, you can't beat if your things are a little tight, especially around the holidays or after the holidays. Yeah. You need that money a couple days early, or you go grocery shopping. You got a car payment due. There's so many things that don't cross over exactly how you want them to cross over. Make progress toward a better financial future with Chime. Open your account in 2 minutes at chime.com/smalltownmurder. That's chime.com/smalltownmurder. Feels like progress. Banking services and debit cards provided by Bancorp Bank N.A. or Stride Bank N.A., members FDIC. Spot me eligibility requirements and overdraft limits apply. Boosts are available to eligible Chime members enrolled in Spot Me and are subject to monthly limits. Timing depends on submission of payment file. Fees apply at out-of-network ATMs.
And now back to the show.
Hey, everybody, just going to take a quick break from the show to tell you about a healthy, delicious item, Hero Bread. And we're both trying to get healthier this new year. Jimmy had a eye-opening doctor's appointment and things like that. Yeah. So we're trying to get healthier, and I'm telling you right now, this Hero Bread is a good step in this direction. It's delicious, and it is really good for you, and it's really excellent. They have the sliced bread is good, the bagels, the tortillas. I know you've been
they're terrific.
Ranting about the tortillas. They're so good. With Hero Bread, you can focus on your health goals and still indulge in the soft, fluffy experience you love, but guilt-free. I really love the little Hawaiian rolls, too.
Yeah.
They're so good. They're so good. The Hawaiian rolls, they're legit. They're fluffy. Yeah. They're exactly how you want them to be. You'd never know it's low-carb and high-fiber bread from the texture. You get the soft, fluffy experience you know and love with your savory breakfast sandwich, late night grilled cheese, Taco Tuesday. Do it. No compromises, just flavor, ultra low net carbs, 0 grams of sugar, high in fiber. It's fantastic. Hero Bread is offering 10% off your order. Go to hero.co and use the code SmallTownMurder at checkout. That's SmallTownMurder at HERO.co.
And now back to the show.
Hey everybody, just going to take a quick break from the show to tell you a little bit about Sono Bello. You know, the most known secret with celebrities and influencers and all these famous people is so many of them have had lipo. They've had lipo, whether it's a little touch-up here or a total makeover. Yeah. Nobody has a perfect body. That's the thing. No. They may look like it on TV, but there's things that help that. Absolutely. Lipo now has changed, and Sono Bello's been at the forefront with using LAL technology and getting those beautiful and natural outcomes for each person. Looking real natural. Our friends at Sono Bello are offering their best deal. You're now included in their winter savings event, but appointments are limited, so please get on this. Sono Bello doctors are masters in micro laser fat removal, a brilliant technique that removes stubborn fat permanently wherever your problem areas are. Tummy, love handles, thighs, arms, it's gone in one comfortable visit. Eating healthy and workouts are great. Keep doing that, but if you want to lose that stubborn fat in one visit, check out Sono Bello. Save big during their winter savings event. Schedule your free consultation now at sonobello.com/smalltownmurder. That's SONOBELLO.com/smalltownmurder.
Now back to the show.
Frightening. If you're, mid-70s rural person. In fact, somebody said that now, you'd be like, even in the city, even as cynical as you are, you'd be like, that doesn't sound good. No. That sounds bad. Jesus. Right. But you'd be like, oh, what part of the city is it in? Is it in here?
Yeah. Is it in Gilbert or is it in fucking
Is it
Surprise?
45 minutes away from me? Right. Who cares? Whereas this is, the town is tiny. Yeah. So anywhere in the town you're in danger.
There was a blue alert that came across my phone about a guy that was killing cops, and I looked at the news, and it was at 15th Avenue in Garfield. I'm like, fuck do I care?
How the hell am I? Well, not that you don't, because that's a bad thing. It's a matter of just, that's an hour away from where you live.
Not a threat to me.
Not a threat, not anything. There's nothing you can do about it.
May as well be in New York.
That's what I'm saying. That would be like if someone got an alert in San Diego for something happening in L.A. You'd be like, well, what am I going to do about it?
I
live in another city.
I can't fix it.
I can't fix that from all the way over here.
And I'm not in danger.
No, not at all. So the newsman demanded proof that this was really the sheriff's office. There's no caller ID. It's the 70s. So he said, who the fuck is this? I'm not going to interrupt our movie and freak out the entire town unless I know this is a real source and not a crank call. So he arranged to return the call to the county jail he said, well, call the county jail. You have look up the fucking number in the phone book and call, and I'll answer the goddamn phone, and then you'll know who it is. So that's what the guy does. He looked up the county jail, called, and it's me again. Hi. Yep. Fucking lock your doors.
Here we go.
Tell everybody. So he went, oh shit, I guess it's a real person. And he said that he did tell the deputy that he's going to require more details than something terrible has happened. He goes, I can't go on the air and say something bad is happening. Lock your doors. Like, this is the news, I'm not the town crier.
Yeah.
Just go, everybody, bad things are going on. Lock up. Like, that's weird.
Now back to the Tower of Terror.
Now back to the Deadly Tower. Enjoy. So after a bunch of phone calls, including one where they do a short-wave radio call to Sheriff Hop here, who was 22 miles away from the station, they do that, and finally KNOP, after talking to Hop, puts up an interrupt bulletin to report that there's been a killing and that everyone should lock their windows and doors, admit no one, maniac on the loose. Holy shit, be careful. So 9:37 a.m. was when that came on there. So there you go. Deadly Tower, by the way, was about Whitman in Texas, the bell tower shooter there.
That makes sense.
The University of Texas shooter. That's what that was about. Deadly Tower.
That makes sense.
Perfect name. Really.
Couldn't have been more on the nose.
Couldn't have been more on the nose. But you never know, because Die Hard could have been called the Deadly Tower also. Yeah. So who the fuck knows? So the population of North Platte, by the way, is 23,000 people, which is a lot bigger because at this point there was 800 and something in Sutherland. So this also airs in North Platte as well. Yeah. So it freaks out another 25,000 people or so.
Shit.
So police cars are there. There's roadblocks being set up. There's cops from every town, county, people with fucking flashlights going all over the town.
Dead serious.
It is absolute chaos.
Yeah.
Like it's like if in a movie, if a little tiny blonde girl went missing in a movie in a small town, you just see flashlights going all over the darkness.
Yeah.
That's what's happening here. She's so blonde. So find her. She's got pigtails. We need to save her now.
It's Denver with John Bonet.
Yeah, it's the exact same thing. So they're setting up all this shit. There's a television news helicopter from Denver that flies in.
Wow.
Oh, yeah. I mean, the news company chartered a helicopter because theirs is being serviced to fucking
3 hours away.
Immediately fly there to fucking
Wow.
hover over the town. Where is it? Shit, can't be that hard to find. So it's goddamn, it's crazy. All these alerts, people are sitting. Basically, from what everybody said, everybody turned all their lights off and sat in the living room with their shotguns.
Awesome.
Literally, whole family sitting around, armed to the fucking teeth, with waiting for a creak on the front stairs.
Nobody moved.
How dangerous is that, though? What if somebody didn't hear this and came over to borrow a cup of sugar or something? They're going to get blasted by everybody. Grandma shot him. Everybody shot him.
Came home late.
They blow it through the door, then open it. Let's see who. Oh, shit, Bob.
Jesus.
Oh, we shot the fuck out of Bob, man. God damn it. I think it's Bob. Half his head's missing.
Call the sheriff and call Nope. We got him.
We got him. Call K Nope. It was Bob. Bob was on the lead, murdered everybody. Must have been Bob. So that's what's going on. So what happened to cause this chaos? Well, usually I'll say this at the beginning of the show, but fucking buckle up, everybody, because this is rough. You might want to put down if you're eating.
Yeah.
Put that down for a minute and relax here. So basically, what he did is Irwin came into the house and to next door into the Kelly's house, and the first person he encountered, most of the family was out back.
Yeah.
A couple people were in another room. First person he encountered is 10-year-old Florence.
Oh, God damn it.
Okay, Florence Marie Kelly. He tries to rape her.
What?
He tries to rape her at gunpoint.
That's the start of this madness?
That's the start of this.
Oh, boy.
He tries to rape a 10-year-old girl in her own living room at gunpoint.
Whose mother was just killed in a car accident.
Whose mother was killed in a car accident.
She's already got enough trauma.
Yeah, he has a hard time. He can't, she's a little girl.
Right.
So to make it easier for him,
boy.
he decides he should shoot her first. So he shoots her in the forehead with the .22 rifle, so close that she's got bad powder burns, point blank, and then rapes her.
Oh, my God, no.
Yes, after she's killed, after this poor little girl is no longer alive.
Okay.
That's when he decides that that's the time,
Yeah.
okay? So when he's doing this, that's when the girl's grandfather, here comes Henry.
Right.
He hears,
The gunshot.
a gunshot
Right.
and commotion. So he comes in the house, and he comes to the doorway, and so Irwin turns the gun and shoots him too.
Oh, my.
So he shoots down Henry, kills him. He takes Henry and drags Henry's body down into the bedroom, away from the living room and stuff, okay? So shortly after that, Henry's wife, Audrey Marie Kelly, she's there. Henry comes in to the house as well because she's heard all sorts of commotion and gunshots. So he kills her with a shot to the forehead as well.
Okay.
They're coming in. As they come in, he just shoots them. He shoots her in the forehead, and then he rapes her as well.
What is happening?
He's into apparently.
Clearly.
Yeah. I don't know. So now this is a deceased grandmother,
Right.
that he's deciding that he needs to do this to. So, drags her back as well.
Right.
It's at this point that their son, David, the 36-year-old, and his two children show up at the house. Okay. David enters. He kills David first, obviously, because he's the threat. And then there's his two kids, 5 and 7 years old. Daniel's 7, Daniel's 5, Deanna is 7. He shoots both of them and then rapes Deanna as well.
All the women.
Every female in the house,
boy.
he killed, and he had his.
What
I
happened?
don't know. I'm disturbed.
Yeah.
Obviously, as I'm sure no one out there right now is like,
Right. That's not a normal thing to
There's
do.
nothing fucking funny about this.
How does
this
it
is
get
horrible.
from the day he had to this night?
That's the thing.
Right.
It's
nobody understands.
He went from his normal day,
right.
everything's fine, to I don't know if
no explanation.
I mean, that I don't even know what to say about this. Like, what? I can't put myself in the place of a person that wants to go kill people for no reason.
Right.
I've had plenty of reason where I want to fuck her. I'd love to strangle that person, but I know I don't want to go to jail and shit. So I'm like, that's not good. And then they have a family, and there's a whole morality thing to it where I got inside, and it ends up falling apart there.
There's a host of reasons not to do it.
You never get past that part of you get put to the point where I would love that motherfucker to be dead, but that's as far as it goes because the rest of it's a huge inconvenience to not only you but everybody else.
Yeah,
it's not great. So I really can't put myself in the head of somebody who kills people who are nice to them for no reason. And then, I can't put myself in the mind of a rapist or a child molester or a molester, rapist, necrophiliac as well. There's so many things here that I'm like a circuit board where they put the shit in the wrong places, and it's just not. It's all crossed up, and I don't even know.
I don't see how necropedio crosses pedo. You know what I mean?
Mixed with all the. I don't know.
I don't understand how they cross.
This is a new one.
Fucking wild.
We've never had this before.
No, this is.
I mean,
yeah.
I hate this. Fuck, it's disgusting and it's horrible. But I mean, Jesus Christ, this is 194 episodes. I didn't think we could be shocked by anything by now. This is shocking.
And then what
happens? I'm fucking shocked. So, he does that. Then he went next door, told his nephew, I just killed everybody. You might want to call...
6?
Yeah, I just killed all 6 of them. And he goes, you might want to call... First, call your mom, tell her, she'll want to know. It's her house and everything.
Right.
And then call your grandparents, because they'll want to know, too, that I'm a murderer, obviously. Didn't tell the 13-year-old that what he did sexually. Thank fuck.
Just murdered him. He didn't say.
He just said shot them all. They're all dead. So, might as well get them all cleaned up over there.
Good Lord.
I don't know what he was hoping to accomplish. Now, what I don't understand is my theory, and I think kind of the prosecutor, one of his theories here, and it was what I thought immediately was, he went into the house with the gun. I don't know if he was going to rob them or what his initial foray into the house was for, because unless it was for nefarious purposes, he wouldn't have needed the gun. He could have just went over and they would have went, hey, how you doing, Irwin? Because they knew him and liked him, so he was fine to just go over there. So the gun means that he was going to do something that he knew they wouldn't like right away. So I don't know if he saw the little girl in there, something clicked, because his first thing is to try to obviously attack this little girl sexually. That's his first thing, and when he can't, I don't know if his brain, being that he's pretty simple, he just goes from, well, I can't, probably be easier if she's dead. So then he shoots her, and then it goes from there. And then when more people come in, you got to just keep going as it goes. Kind of like Richard Speck, where he said they just kept coming in. They just kept coming home. I didn't know what to do. Like
more and more and more.
More and more, and I couldn't keep control. I don't know if maybe it was that type of situation where he was like, they kept coming, and I just kept... I don't know, attacking. I don't know. I don't. Like I said, I can't put my mind there. But yeah, pretty much everybody who were, who was possible were shot at point blank range as well. Jesus Christ, I guess she's trying to eliminate all the witnesses. I don't know, but everybody is dead here. Now he comes back. Like I said, he brings the rifle back. Tells his niece or his nephew had just killed the Kellys. And then they call Amos and Grace up. His mother, Grace, says, or I'm sorry, when the son calls his mother at the bar, his mother,
his sister,
Irwin's sister, she says, okay, I'm coming home. Like, I don't know what's going on, but I'll be there in a minute. Like, you get a weird call from your 13-year-old. Yeah, Uncle fucking Irwin just shot everybody next door. You'd be like, what? What are you I'll be there in a minute. I don't know what you're talking about.
And he's sitting next to you?
He's sitting right there, though. Yeah.
All right.
Okay. Yeah. Like, weird. So, his father, though, told him that he didn't believe him. Basically, the kid called Amos up, and Amos got on the phone with Irwin, and Irwin was like, yeah, I did this. And he's like, no, you didn't. I don't believe you. The fuck are you talking about? You're making shit up again.
Oh, boy.
One of those things, like you're whatever.
You got to get over there, though, right?
Well, no, he left work. He's a railroad worker, Amos. He's an older guy, too. So This guy's been working he's been working on the railroad all the live long day for about the last 40 fucking years now.
Heard and seen some shit.
With 9 kids.
Right.
This guy is tired.
Yeah.
And he is probably rugged too.
Had about enough of this shit.
He's had about enough of this shit. And he said, with 9 kids, he has said, that's where they got in Lethal Weapon. That's where they got the line, I'm getting too old for this shit. Yeah. That's where they got it from.
From a man named Amos.
Somebody who just stopped in this town on the way through and heard a man named Amos say it as he turned to leave the tavern. I'm getting too old for this shit. And they were like, ooh, Danny Glover's going to rock that. So, yeah, he says that he didn't believe him, so he's coming to see for himself. So Amos arrives at the home of the Kellys and opened the door to the Kelly residence and said that he was sickened by the sight and the scent of it right away because gunpowder and blood, and there's a lot of blood. Yeah. And it's not great.
Blood smells.
Blood smells, especially gunpowder with blood. That's that's gross. So he said he returned home and told his wife to call an ambulance and the police right away. And, he didn't want to go in and mess up the crime scene, basically. And then he told his son, go turn yourself in. Yeah. When the police get here, you better fucking go out there like a man and say, hey, I did this. Don't be a fucking asshole. So instead of doing that, Irwin goes, I'm going to go to the bar. Okay. I don't want to fucking turn myself in. That's boring.
It's a lot of work.
It's a lot of work. I got to explain everything. He goes, I'm going to go down to the rodeo bar. That's the name of this place. Okay. Goes down to the rodeo bar across from the Union Pacific Railroad tracks, and he has a beer.
A murderer sat down at the bar.
Sat right down at the bar.
Oh, boy.
A murderer with child blood on him sits right down at the bar, just crack a beer.
Oh, boy.
And the bartender said that he must have shown up just after that, because that's when he saw him. He said that, quote, I remember serving him just one beer and he left. He didn't appear to be drunk or anything like that. He said that he's known Irwin for a long time. Quote, I've seen him around the bar lots of times. He's never been a troublemaker at all. The guy never even gets loud or anything like that. He comes in all the time. Quiet guy, has a beer, leaves. He's
got to have blood on him, right?
I would assume. I'd probably change his shirt. I don't know. This seems like an area where there's probably blood on a lot of people.
Yeah,
right. You probably come from the farm or something or the ranch. You got blood on you.
Somebody made dinner. They've got blood on them.
That's what I mean. Yeah. There's a lot of blood in an area like this. People don't question it. Why you have blood on your pants? Because I fucking working on my ranch, pussy.
The better question is, why don't you?
Yeah, what's up with you?
Fucking lazy bitch.
Pansy. Look at Harvard boy here without blood on his pants. That's what they call you if you don't have blood on your jeans currently. Harvard boy.
You had pizza delivered, you pussy.
Look at you. Oh, pizza. Some fancy European food they're eating. Jesus Christ. Pizza. So he then walks over. What do you think he's going to do? He's got a beer in him. He had to steal himself. Yeah. He's going to another bar. He's hopping.
He's going on a pub crawl.
He's fucking doing the entire Sutherland pub crawl, which consists of the rodeo bar and the Longhorn bar. That's the pub crawl. And then
hilarious. You know the Longhorn one was opened after because they were like, they already got the good name. God damn it.
Rodeo, damn it. Fuck, man, that sounds cool. Sounds like we got a bull in there. You don't even have to have one, but it's how people going to think you do when they're going to come in.
We'll name ours Longhorn. They'll know we have a bull.
They know we got a bull, but we ain't going to have one. That's right.
You want a rodeo bull? You got to go down to the rodeo for that shit.
What do you think this is? So he drank one more beer there.
Okay.
Casual, didn't slam, real casual. No one said he acted weird or wasn't nervous or looking around or twitchy, or he's just sitting around having a beer, watching the tube.
Really thinking about it.
Nah, just hanging out. Not even. They just look very like any other time he's been in the bar. Just came in to have a beer and have a good night, everybody. Like he must have been on his way home, I guess. So he heads home, and what he does is that nobody's gotten there yet because the way the timing worked out there, people are coming now. So what he does is he goes, there's a bunch of high weeds behind the two houses.
Right.
He just went and hung out in there for the rest of the night.
Just sat in the weeds.
He went and hid in the high weeds for the rest of the night. That's all. Just hid while the
police and everybody, while the helicopters above.
There's a fucking chopper from Denver hovering above.
News 5 is above his head.
News 5 is like, we're going to be doing this for John Elway in 10 years, so this better be important. You know what I mean? Like this shit's important.
Right.
Crazy. So that's what's going on, and he's just hanging out in the weeds, watching it all, listening to it all. They set up fucking roadblocks. I mean, this is no messing around.
And he's going nowhere.
He is just hanging out in the weeds, not even trying to flee, not doing anything. The person who identified the bodies was the mayor of the town. That's how small of a town this is. They literally called the mayor to ID some of his citizens.
Can you imagine?
Can you think about that?
Yeah.
That's how tiny of a town this is. This is like when the, mayor came to investigate himself that one time and step on a kidney and shit. That's what's happening here.
Who's our mayor? I don't even know who it is.
Kate
Gallegos.
something.
Gallegos.
Yeah.
That's right.
So,
she wouldn't have a fucking clue what I look like.
Probably not. I don't know her. How would she? Oh, that guy? I've never seen him before in my life.
Heard her goddamn voice at the airport. Have no idea what she looks like either.
I couldn't save her either. It's the other thing. I would be like, I
couldn't identify our goddamn mayor.
Who's that? Some lady? I don't know. She's got a nice dress on.
Looks like a female. Your job from here.
Appears to have decent jewelry. She does well for herself, obviously. I'm not sure. I don't know who she is, though. So this is Herb Meisner. He's the mayor of Sutherland. And David Kelly, the son, the 36-year-old son with the two small children, he had worked at Meisner, the mayor, also owns a grain elevator. Okay. And David had worked there before. Of course, everybody knows each other in this town. That is Shoup and Sons, Inc. And Henry Kelly also worked there part-time. So this guy knows the whole family, and he's the mayor. He's got to go door to door and personally introduce himself. So
it's a real rolling shit.
Yeah, he's also not used to horrible crime scenes. He's a mayor, not a police officer, not a homicide detective. This is a crime scene that even a regular police officer would have a hard time with. This one. This is like you'd need like a 12-year homicide detective to be able to walk in here and not fucking lose his shit. Yeah. He'd still feel it, but he wouldn't lose it on something like this. He'd pretend like it was fine. But this is like when you see 3 dead kids.
Right.
And also the way that is, wow. I mean, imagine taking that in.
That's too much.
If you're not an officer, especially. So this guy, if you're not experienced in that, he said
2 kids that are raped, James.
That's what I mean. And shot.
Oh, fuck.
The other one's dead. Everybody else is dead. Shot right in the fucking forehead and shit. It's crazy. And everybody here's a good shot too. That's the other thing. He's a great shot. He's shooting people in the forehead from across the room. Yeah, because he's a fucking great shot. Because they shoot all the time.
And that .22 long rifle is deadly accurate. Those things are so straight.
Yeah, it's not a huge house either. So it's you're shooting someone from 8 feet away, right in the forehead. So the mayor said, quote, "I think I may have gone into mild shock from what I saw at that house. Later, I went home and my wife and I put the kids to bed with us, and then the phone calls started." He said he was getting phone calls from New York City, from fucking San Francisco, from everywhere in the country, major media outlets. Or Connie Chung is calling his house personally. Yeah. It's a very weird thing to have Connie Chung call you.
And Barbara Walters.
Yeah, very weird here.
On a 3-way phone call.
I'm having a... Hold on, sweetheart. I'm having a 3-way with Connie Chung and Barbara Walters. I'm going to need a minute, all right? Hold on. I'm almost finished. So...
That Barbara's a real tough tug, but that Connie, I'll tell you.
She's a sweetheart. Sweeter than she acts, I'm telling you. So the next person to arrive is June Lindstrom, and she is she's a licensed practical nurse. So she's the one where they're going, go around and see if anybody's alive, basically. Go see if you can administer any medical care to anybody that might be breathing still. Yeah. They sent her in to do this poor woman. She says she remembers it very, very vividly. She said that there was no way to help anybody. She said David was actually alive when she arrived. The son was alive when she arrived, but there was nothing she could do. They got him in the ambulance. I think he died on the way to the hospital.
Shot in the head.
He wasn't conscious. He wasn't doing well, but he was breathing and barely had a pulse and shit like that. So she said, quote, "I still work in the emergency room 10 years later, so I'm used to a lot, but these people were close personal friends." It's got to be brutal. Right. That's to find your friends like that. It's bad enough if it's just clinical and they're strangers. You look at them like whatever, but friends, and then you have to look at them medically. That's oof. She said that she found David lying on the floor in the doorway between the living room and kitchen, and the body of his son Daniel was draped over him. And Mrs. Kelly, the grandmother here, was crumpled up on the floor near the couch in the living room. And Deanne's body, the little girl, one of the little girls, the 7-year-old, I believe.
Or, the youngest girl.
Yes, was crouched up in a corner, quote, as if she'd been hiding. And then the bodies of Florence and Henry were found in the rear bedroom. Those are the first two. I guess his first instinct was to pile them up in the bedroom, and then it just got too many.
Yeah.
I think so. He didn't know what to do with himself, and that's wow. So by 1:43 a.m., Associated Press is able to transmit a story with the names of the victims, the fact that Irwin is the guy they're looking for. He's a neighbor of the Kellys. Yeah. This whole thing caused Sheriff Hopp to have a mild heart attack. He had a slight heart attack from all the excitement.
This is too much.
Nothing has ever happened.
Yeah.
That's how little has happened in this town. The first major thing, the sheriff has a fucking heart attack because he's, oh, Jesus Christ, the excitement. I never thought I'd see it. Which, I mean, this scene is awful. But, they also reported that the murder weapon had been found and was already in police custody. Right. This is not even 2 a.m., and they have, the whole story is out already. By 6:37 a.m., it also stated that Simmons apparently told his father that he was responsible for the killings. Right. That's in the press. Right. Less than 12 hours later.
It's pretty impressive.
It's a lot. Work. It's a lot to get out there. So the next morning at 8 a.m., he's still in the weeds, by the way. They never found him. Literally in the weeds.
He's walking out from the bar going, I'm really in the weeds
No
now.
pun intended, like Lincoln being bulletproof. Right. It's the same thing. So 8 a.m., he runs up to his sister's back door and tries to get in the house and knocks on the door. And his sister's like, I'm not fucking letting you in here. You've just killed everybody.
It's cold.
Holy shit. So his sister called the cops and said, fucking my brother's right here. I found him. He's on my back door. He's a fucking idiot. And then she tells him, hey, stupid, the cops are coming. Wait here for them. Where are you going? Are you going to live in the weeds for the rest of your life? Mm-hmm. So he does. The cops show up. They take him into custody. By 9 a.m., he's booked and, they take his clothes for evidence and all that sort of shit. They give him the Miranda warnings. And, by 9 a.m., 12 hours later, he is Mirandized. He's so there. Now, he basically, they talked to him. He says that they said, did you do the murders and sexual assaults over there? And he said, no, he's watching TV. I was just watching TV, so I couldn't have done nothing, with the TV on. Deadly Tower was on, good movie. It's good stuff right there. So they talked to him a little more. And then after a minute, he goes, all right, fine. I killed everybody. Mm-hmm. Just admits it. He goes, I killed everybody. And they said, well, what else? And then he graphically, because it's a confession and they need him to graphically, imagine taking that confession. I'm not going to do any. I'm not going to graphically read off what he did.
Yeah.
What we said earlier is plenty bad.
We know.
We get it. But he had to.
Said it.
He had to.
Yeah.
They had to walk him through it minute by fucking minute. Imagine being that person sitting in the room while he explains matter-of-factly what he did.
Yeah.
Wow.
And you've got to be Holden and say the fucking gross stuff.
Yeah, and you have to be like, and then so that happened there, and you have to act like he's telling you about, hooking his trailer up to his truck. You have to act like it's no big deal, because if you act like you're horrified, he might shut down.
Yeah.
So you have to act like, this is info. Yeah, just taking down your info like anything else, like taking your order at a restaurant. It's a weird shit. So, he said that he sexually assaulted Florence and killed her, and then killed the grandfather, and he was trying to conceal the first two bodies. They tried to bring him back in the bedroom so nobody would find him right away, he said, but then people just started coming in.
Yeah.
And he said, he needed to kill everybody if he wanted to get out of there, because they were in the living room, and that's the only way out. So he was like, how the hell was I supposed to get out? I couldn't just run away. I had to kill everybody before I ran away. Oh, and then I had to obviously sexually assault everybody as well. Right. So later on, the sheriff, mild heart attack or not, he's still doing media interviews and everything else. This is his moment to shine, Sheriff Hopp here. So he said in this that basically he gave a little much information to the reporters. He should have said no comment at this time.
Hop.
Instead, they said, it didn't surprise you when the woman called and said that the guy was in the backyard, and he said, it didn't surprise me. And they said, why didn't it surprise you? And the sheriff said, well, a lot of times they return to the scene of the crime. So right away, it's one of those. She said, the reporter said, you mean after he shot the people, he went in and got a drink at a bar? And he said, yes.
Oh, God damn it, Hop. Shut up.
This is bad. And then the reporter said, why did he kill these people? And sheriff said, I can't say at this time.
You can't say anything. That's your answer for everything.
No comment.
God damn it.
We have a suspect. He's in custody.
Right. That's all you need
Let
to say.
you know more later.
Outside of that, you're going to fuck this case up.
Nope. But he's like, look at me. You picture him holding his gun belt. Look at me. I'm
Solved
fancy.
it in 12 hours.
Got it. 12. Miranda, 12 hours.
city folk.
Fucking pussies. That's not what they do back east over there in North Platte. That's back east to them.
Right.
North Platte. So he also admits during this whole thing, during the interview, that for 7 or 8 months leading up to the murders, he'd been having fantasies of killing and raping young girls and older women as well.
Really?
Yeah, which are both things that your brain shouldn't do if you're a 30-year-old man.
Should never have either fantasy.
No offense to an older lady,
Yeah.
but for a 30-year-old man to have like rape fantasies about 80-year-old women is not.
That's weird.
It's not normal.
Yeah.
It's not normal. Even if they have a lot of money, still not normal.
Or even if they're
Yeah.
hot as shit.
It doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter.
Well, that's impossible. But I'm sorry, 80-year-old people aren't hot to a 30-year-old to fuck. They might be hot to another 80-year-old, but
I don't know. I'm sure there's some.
is there an 80-year-old on Earth that you want to fuck right now?
I don't know. I haven't seen them all.
Have you seen? Have any of the ones caught your eye that you've seen?
I don't know.
Dolly Parton aside,
That's maybe it.
and
But
even her,
and she's
you
not.
would
She's not 80.
You no,
She's
and
in
you
her 70s,
you
late
still
70s.
Wouldn't
It would take a couple minutes.
You would be.
I'd have to think of her when I was a
You'd
kid.
be like, just sing Jolene, just a
Yeah.
couple of bars, just you know what I mean? Like you would because it's older, and it's no offense to
Yeah.
her.
Hit
We'll all
the
get
chorus. Hit it hard.
there. We're all gross. It's fine, and we all get progressively
Yeah.
grosser. It's no big deal. But I'm just saying, for a 30-year-old
Yeah.
man's sexual fantasies to
Yeah.
involve an 80-year-old woman
It
is
would
not.
be, yeah.
It's aberrant thoughts.
There's a reason that granny porn is low on the trend list.
Low on
of Pornhub.
low on the algorithm. Yeah,
It's not on the first page.
Never recommended to you. No.
It's usually
It's very special.
It's usually the
You
word
know to look for it.
teen is or barely legal. Which one's grosser? I don't know.
Ooh,
You
they
know what I
both
mean?
sound pretty gross.
It's pretty fucked,
I'm
right?
thinking about that. I'm like,
I don't know which one's worse.
I don't know.
Why is one?
Barely legal sounds like you're.
That's horrible.
It sounds like there's a cop right next to you being like, if it was fucking 15 minutes ago, I'd have you in cuffs right now, you bastard, which is uncomfortable. You know what I mean? Like, Jesus, I shouldn't be doing this. But
if
then
it says teen or barely
sounds
legal
like
on the thing,
a child.
I want nothing to do with that
no,
video.
teen
thank
sounds
you.
like that
No.
could be 13.
Yeah.
That's teen.
15.
I get 19
14,
also
right.
exists, but
that's what it is. That's what
13
it's supposed
well,
to
yeah,
be.
it's supposed
that's
to
the
be
that's the
18
allure.
and 19.
Or is she?
Oh,
Ah,
yeah.
yuck.
How is that an allure?
No.
How is that? That's not an allure.
There's a girl named Lil Lupe who looks like she's 13, and that's the reason that they put her in it.
Oh,
that's
gross.
terrible.
No.
Piper or something. And she has
no.
braces and shit.
No.
It's terrible, James.
No.
It's so bad. So bad.
Jesus
Why do you
Christ.
fuckers do this? And if it wasn't one of the top searches, it wouldn't be on the homepage. So it's filthy fucks tugging to that shit.
A lot of them.
A lot.
Oh,
James, the
Jesus.
number is astronomical.
It has to be.
It's terrible.
It's a homepage amount of whacking.
Right.
That's a lot. Homepage level.
That's too much.
That's too much.
Yeah.
Ooh,
and
okay.
then Mother-in-Law is next, where it's like 50 and 60.
Okay,
they're in there.
I've seen like for like those though, they're like. Okay, when they say teen, she's like 27.
Yeah.
When they say MILF, she's 29.
Right.
And when they say mother-in-law, she's 34. So let's be realistic with the porn. You know what I'm saying? And then granny is 44.
Right. And then she's retired the next year.
And then the next year, it's like, then she's in the back of the archive, like, ooh. Meanwhile,
Right.
it's just a normal. That's really
And
the porn age.
The
It's not.
production date of teen to granny are like 6 weeks
It's
apart.
6 weeks apart. You never know. You can go either way. I'm sure there's porn actresses that are in like teen videos and MILF videos in the same fucking week. I
bet you
guarantee
they are.
to you they
Yeah,
are. They
yeah.
just put a different outfit on.
Right.
Oh, I put a like a button-down shirt on. Look at me, I'm a MILF
Do
now.
her hair bigger.
Yeah.
Get the ponytail
I'm in a
gone.
business bun.
Right.
Now I'm a MILF. Before I was in like a tube top bouncing around bubbly. Now I'm a teen. Fucking stupid.
But if dudes
So
would
stupid.
fucking just stop it, knock it
Please
the fuck
do.
off.
Yeah, please stop.
You didn't get it when you were a teenager because you were a fucking dork. You're fine now. Just get chicks your age. And
So, yeah, and I don't think he did well with the
No,
ladies this
probably
one, but he
not.
did get married at a young age. He found somebody that would settle down with him. It's
Right.
more than I know people who are much older than that still are looking for people. So if you can find one by 22 with a 75 IQ,
right.
22 plus 75 is 97, and that's
You're
not
doing
bad.
all right.
That's not bad. That's getting better.
I'm confident that that's what the teenage shit is, though. It's just you were a fucking dork in high school, and that's why you didn't get it, and now you're 30 or 38.
I'm sure.
It's got to be what it is.
Or you're just a pervert. One of the two.
You're either a pervert or you're a dork, or both.
And
that's why you're a fucking pervert.
Don't act on these perversions.
Knock it off.
Yeah,
be a pervert with somebody your own age.
Get off the homepage, you pervert.
Yes, get it off my fucking homepage. Stop
Jesus
it. I don't want to fucking log on and see the very first. I guarantee you, if I go on there right now,
it probably will be.
First video is barely legal or teenager.
It's got to be
every time.
Yeah, like teen takes 8 cocks.
Right.
And, some sort of round robin.
Gangbang teen. She's so open. Gross. Fuck you.
She's so open.
That's what they say.
That sounds terrible. Jesus Christ.
I know. It, for me, as a 39-year-old dude, to get on a fucking...
Like for brunch? That's a lot. Now open. Jesus.
As a 39-year-old dude, it's like, I read that, and then I go, well, I'm turned off, thanks.
Yeah.
That's one way to keep me from watching this shit.
Well, okay, that's a deterrent. Maybe that's what it is. It's a deterrent. Maybe it's being planted by
There's no way that's
by the evangelical Christians are planting those videos.
Uploading.
Yeah, they're like, this is going to grow. Half the guys won't be able to whack it, and half of them will come really fast. But either way, it's going to ruin. It's going to ruin
God's
everybody.
Work.
It's God's work. So, oh Jesus! I have to now talk about a funeral for 6 people.
Christ! All right,
for 3 children. Oh God!
After all
that's disgusting. So anyway, no disrespect to the Kelly family. Obviously, nothing to do with the whacking and them. Please. So that the high school auditorium is where they have the funeral because so many people want to attend. In a town of at the time 850 people, 1,000 people showed up.
Wow!
So that's the whole town plus some. That's
plus some in North Platte.
Fucking standing room over there.
Right.
So it's. Whew, man. Anyway, it's crazy. So they talked to some of these people, and they say that, people, I don't know why, but they said after that, they were all locking their doors. It was like, once they caught him, who else is there?
It's over.
He was by himself.
Yeah.
Nobody else. But I guess they figure, well, if he did it, maybe someone else will. And someone here, a guy named Clyde Lindstrom, he says that he was talking to Amos a short time after the shootings, and he said, I can't imagine it in a little town like this, which is the slogan of small town murder.
Yeah.
Can't imagine it in a little town like this.
Good news is you don't have to imagine. It's already happened.
It's right there. Step inside that house.
Right.
They stood outside, apparently, the press was there as well, and Amos tearfully said, quote, my son killed 5 or 6 people here. So the press got a hold of that as well.
Jesus, Amos, you don't know how many?
Now, in the newspaper at this time, I found an article that cracked me up. Thank fuck something was, odd and weird and funny out of this. But on Crime and Sports, if you're a Crime and Sports listener, one of the segments we do at the end is I feel bad for all these people.
Yeah.
So all the people this person has wronged over the course of the episode. I feel bad for his mom and his wife who he cheats on and beats up and this one and that one, but not nearly as bad as I feel for. And I'll go into 5 people with that athlete's exact name who are, a CEO of a bank and a thing over here, like just regular, a guy who works on an assembly line.
Successful or just not that guy.
But they have to be that guy, unfortunately, and people must say something. Well, there's an actual name or an actual fucking newspaper article called Names Cause Problems. It's a UPI article, so it's a national article, and it's a guy in Maxwell, a guy named Charles Edgar Simmons, Simmons, same spelling, of Maxwell, is being confused with Erwin Charles Simmons of Sutherland, who's been charged with all these murders.
What's his middle name?
It's Charles Edgar Simmons is the one guy, and this guy is Erwin Charles Simmons. So people are fucking it all up.
Poor bastard.
And initial reports listed Erwin as Charles Erwin Simmons. So then they thought, they must have just messed up the Erwin. It's Edgar, Charles Edgar. So they're saying this guy did it. So this guy is being harassed. His family's being harassed, and he's like, "It's not fucking me. I swear to fucking Christ," because it's a small town, and that's not a normal. I've never seen that last name before.
Yeah, it's a weird one.
Yeah, it's strange. So his legal name, by the way, is Erwin. The other one, the murderer, is Erwin Charles, and this guy is Charles. Jesus, how ridiculous!
Edgar.
They're cousins. By
Get
the way,
out.
Yes.
Oh, that's fucked.
They're cousins, and they both have Charles in their names because they're cousins and were named after the same fucking person. God damn it.
Jesus.
Oh, God. The guy is, this one's married and has children. He's 34 years old. The other one's 30 years old. So it's definitely not him, but it's similar. Mm-hmm. So now pre-trial, the judge, because of all this publicity, he puts a gag order on the media. This is highly unusual. Yeah. Basically, you can come in, but you can't report what you hear, is what they say. So this is very, very odd.
So you can come in and take notes and get your article ready, but don't you fucking say a word yet?
Say anything about anything.
Okay.
It's very fucking weird here. They, the Nebraska Press Association sues the judge. It's a big deal. This goes all the way to the Supreme Court later on. So the deputy county attorney here, he said that he got all pissed off because of all the articles, all the information out there, and some of it was true and some of it was false, and it was hard to pick a jury.
Fucking the jury pool.
Yeah, so he says, this is great, to a group of reporters, this is the prosecutor, quote, "God damn it, I'm not going to try this case on the lawn of this house or in the goddamn media." This is fucking amazing. God damn it. I love when a frustrated person starts a sentence out with "God damn it." That's my favorite opener. God damn it, son of a bitch, you people that are never going to fucking listen.
And who is he? Is that the judge or the prosecutor?
This is the prosecutor.
Hilarious.
Deputy county attorney, Marvin Holschner. God damn it, I'm not going to try this case on the lawn of this house or in the goddamn media. And then somebody shouted back to him, shouted back, "You're making an ass out of yourself. Tell us what happened," which is hilarious. Well, that's what one of the fucking reporters yelled back.
Somebody shouts back, "You're making an ass of yourself."
You're making an ass of yourself. Which is amazing.
No, you guys are making an ass of me, God damn it.
God damn it. And he says, quote, "There's a TV helicopter overhead and we haven't even gotten the 6 bodies out yet." So he's like, it got out of control and they didn't know how to, this just never happened to them before. So they didn't know, like, when you have a crime scene like this is what you do. Right. They didn't know. They were just like, "Oh my God, tell everyone lock their doors." Like they freaked out. So the jury pool, and this is important, out of 130 citizens called, 72 were examined. More than a third of those told the judge that they had already formed an opinion on the murders because they all had heard. They all got the breaking news and everything else. We were all watching A Deadly Tower.
The jury pool is all fucked out.
Oh, it's all fucked out. It's a fucked out jury pool. Of that group, less than half identified the media as their source, though, of their prejudice. A larger portion of those who had an opinion did not specifically identify the basis for their prejudices. Some of them were friends with the Kellys or some of the other witnesses, or also word of mouth around work. People told you shit. It's, whatever. So, the gag orders here basically, they said that they didn't hear anything else later on. So what they heard at first is what the jurors said. That's what they believe now because nothing else came out. So the gag order, what it ended up doing was making false information spread.
It made it way worse.
It made rumors spread rather than just go, no, I read in the paper it said this. Rather than that, it was, I heard.
God damn it.
I heard he took one head off and another one and then switched them.
Right.
And then had sex with, he said, what if
a marriage ceremony?
Yeah. What if I had sex with grandpa with grandma's head on it? That'd be fun, right? That's, no. So the jury here is sequestered as well. Mm-hmm. Once they get a jury, they sequester them, and they are told not to read, and which shouldn't be a problem for most of them, and to avoid broadcast news reports.
You son of a bitch.
Sorry. That was mean. I'm sorry. Mrs. Beulah Lustrom, who with her husband runs her husband John and Beulah. Yeah. There you go, everybody. Name your kid Beulah. That hasn't been used in a while. They run a 13,000-acre farm in Brady, and she was one of the jurors. And she said she knew most of the details of the sexual assaults, knew about the father's statement about his son's guilt, saw the sheriff on television, yet she still thought she could be an impartial juror. Yeah. She said, "I've raised a family. I know you have to hear both sides."
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah.
I knew most of the details of the sexual assault. I'm sure he's got his side.
I heard he rapes children after he murders them.
I'll keep an open mind.
I'm going to let him. I'd like to hear what he has to say about that, though. I don't prejudge people.
Good Lord, lady.
She said, when one child comes with a story, I say, well, wait, I have to hear the other side. If there's a broken lamp, not a shot, raped fucking fourth grader. What is
not six bodies?
Fuck?
Right.
6 bodies and children. There's fucking children.
What's his side?
There's a goddamn, oh my God, this is just ridiculous. So another one, what, gotta hear the other side. Eugene Seaton, another juror here, works on the county road crew.
Yeah.
And he runs his own small farm. He believes in the wisdom of the judge's gag order. He said, yes, it would be very hard to put anything I heard before the trial out of my mind. I guess he was one of the people who didn't hear anything.
Okay.
Quiet out there on the road, I guess. Holy shit.
But the things he did here, it's tough to put that out of your mind.
Got to be tough there. His wife heard about the murders, though, so he didn't, but his wife did, while watching the Deadly Tower on television. Swear to God.
She got the dog shit scared out of her.
Yeah. Oh, my, lock the door, Henry. Also knew something about the sexual aspects and Irwin's admission to his father. But he is sure that she never discussed it with me. I'm out of doors most of the time, and I don't have much time for talk.
Okay. Your wife who just had the holy shit scared out of her.
I don't have much time. I'm outdoors most of the time. I ain't got enough.
She didn't shout from the porch, get your fucking ass in here. There's a psychopath on the loose.
Quote, I'm out of doors all the time. Don't have time for much talk.
Out of doors.
Out of doors. Juror Robert Gerard, who's a superintendent at the North Platte Gas Company, said he knew most of the details about the murders and sexual assaults, quote, from hearsay and from some of the newspapers and radio. His wife remembers hearing all the gruesome facts of the murders the Wednesday after the crime when she went to the beauty parlor in North Platte.
Yeah.
And they all just talked about it. Quote,
she had 2 hours of free time.
Quote, my hairdresser's husband is a cousin of the Kellys.
Oh, no.
And she told me about how the little girl had been raped and then killed, all the way around, but yes, and then Mr. Kelly had been dragged into the bedroom. The Simmons boys were a bunch of hoodlums. My son went to school with one, and they were always beating up people. That's what she said. Okay. But she also says that she was also able to keep separate the preconceived notions. She literally said all that stuff. I heard he raped a little girl, and the whole family's hoodlums, and his cousins beat people up, but I think I can judge him fairly.
My hairdresser's kin of theirs, and so that means I like them, and they're pieces of shit, so I hate them, but I'll keep it.
I'm going to be fair. Yeah. What are we talking? This is small town bullshit.
Yeah.
In a city, they just go, have you ever heard of this person? Yeah, then get the fuck out of here. We got other people that haven't heard of him.
Yeah.
Take a fucking hike. Here, they're like, good enough.
We'll take it.
So the next question is he sane? Because what he did is, you could look at that and go, this is bizarre.
Yeah.
This is odd. Not
pushes some sane boundaries.
I would call this aberrant behavior, like I said before. Right. So defense psychiatrists said they believe that his IQ was about a 75, has a drinking problem, was under emotional stress ever since the death of his infant daughter, and therefore he was insane at the time. Okay. Now his infant daughter died either 4 or 8 years earlier. Mm-hmm. Not sure which. But either way, that's a pretty big space between butchering a bunch of people and losing your kid. So
it's a broad window.
Seems like a cool down period that you could probably overcome something like that. So prosecution experts offered testimony that his actions were so complex that he had to know what he was doing. I don't see them as complex. I see them as a mess.
Yeah.
I see this as a very...
It's erratic.
It's a disorganized. Yeah. There's organized and disorganized. This is definitely disorganized. He is literally shooting and raping as it comes.
Right.
Like, what's it called? What's the word I'm looking for here?
I'm lost.
Kind of a catch-all of just, never mind. Doesn't matter.
Like in terms of, is it a criminal term?
No. Just a general term. I don't know what the hell I was reaching for there, but it's gone. No, it's gone now. Who the hell cares?
It's gone. Point is, it's not necessarily. We don't even know what he went there for. You know what I mean?
That's what I mean.
We don't even know how to get from A to B because we don't have an A.
But we don't have an idea.
We just got B.
And there's no trigger. There's no he got mad and then did this. He was just hanging out with his nephew and he was like, I'm going to go outside for a little while. Feel like doing it. Like that thought entered his mind. I think I'll kill a whole family. So 76 is the trial. Mm-hmm. And on the recommendation of the public defender, he pleads innocent by reason of insanity. So there's 7 days of testimony here. One of the days, the first day, he, by the way, the courtroom is packed. Most of the people there are high school civics students bussed in from Sutherland and a bunch of other. They're bringing high school kids in to watch a real murder trial.
That's fucked up.
Don't bring teenagers in to hear these details.
No.
Well, I guess I don't know.
That's a good way to get them right on the homepage of Pornhub.
I guess so. It's also a good way for them to go, holy shit, the world is messed up. If you're a teenager growing up in Sutherland, you don't even know this exists in the world. Maybe this is good for you. I'm not sure how that works.
Is this part of school, though? Is part of your curriculum?
His Amos was there. He was wearing an overalls and a suit coat.
You bet he was.
But he wore a suit coat over the overalls.
Right.
He's like, I don't have a suit. I got these overalls, but I found a sport coat, and I'm going to put it on over it.
Right, but you wear the suit coat to hide the overalls. That's the idea behind it. Just put on some breeches, sir.
I get it. I mean, I don't think he has any.
You don't think so? You think
Maybe
it's all
not.
overalls?
He's working the rail yard. I think he's an overalls guy. He's going to lose his pants out there.
Are they like the pinstripe ones, like the
Oshkoshes?
like a conductor wears?
Like you get a 6-month-old baby, maybe he's bagashing.
I hope they are.
I'm not positive, but I don't know,
be.
maybe. So apparently a couple days into the trial, it comes out that Amos is going to be unable to testify because he had a heart attack. Mild. He's not dead or anything, but he had a heart attack. So I think the whole thing's a lot for Amos. He's an older guy, and Amos crumples from it. 9 kids and a career in the rail yard. That'll put some strain on your heart. So the doctor determined that he can't testify. Now the sheriff here, in an answer to a question, has there ever been any act of the defendant in your presence which would indicate to you that he might have a mental problem? He answered no, because he's a mental health expert. By the way, on cross-examination, he admitted that he was not schooled in determining or looking into any of those things, and doesn't know what anything would be. He doesn't know what indicators of a mental problem would be. It gets into.
I mean, I didn't see him fucking a frog or nothing.
That's basically it. He didn't hit himself on the head while going blah 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 blah. I'm crazy, so I don't think he's crazy.
But he did, recoil and not talk to us at all for several hours, which is also an indicator, sir.
Well, he did say that he's observed a number of people and transporting them back and forth from Nebraska to the state institution. So based on that, he feels like he can get a pretty good judge of someone's competency legally.
Right.
The sheriff testified that he knew the Irwin pretty well because he had been in jail several times. So he's like, I've arrested him before. So he clearly had a bias toward him. Also, this is insane, okay? The sheriff is a witness, number one. So he's testifying as a witness. In a trial, when you have a witness is sequestered. Witnesses aren't allowed to see other witnesses testify. Witnesses can see opening, witnesses can see closing, and then witnesses can come in as they are subpoenaed. Otherwise, they are sequestered outside. They have to sit in the fucking hallway. Okay. Like if you go to a murder trial here, the homicide detective sits in the hallway till it's his turn to testify. Then he has to leave again. He doesn't know what the fuck happened in there ever because if you hear other people's testimony, you can then tailor your shit to them. Yeah. So they do that. Instead, plus it looks like you're official then, and you have to be even with the other witnesses. They let this sheriff stay there in uniform inside, not in the back, inside the bar of the courtroom there, like he's the bailiff, basically. He's sitting he basically has Irwin in custody the whole time.
Holy shit.
He came in handcuffed to Irwin. He sits next to Irwin the whole time, except when he's testifying against him, and then he goes and sits back down again in his official capacity.
Wow.
Which is, he shouldn't be able to hear everybody's testimony. He shouldn't be there doing that plus testifying. Right. That means that he's above other witnesses. There's a million legal reasons why he shouldn't be doing this, but
what it comes down to is conflict of interest. That's what that is entirely.
But literally, it's a small town, and he's the sheriff, so he's going to keep an eye on that prisoner. And that's how it works. Now, the jury is sequestered at the Howard Johnson Motel in North Platte. So they're going to live it up over there. You know it. Free HBO. Ooh. Oh, baby.
Room service.
The jurors occupied one wing of the motel that was closed and had 2 adjoining rooms that were used as recreation rooms. The jurors were fed in a dining room separated from the rest of the restaurant by a folding door partition. So, during this trial, the trial judge will later say that he went to the motel on 2 occasions.
What for?
To see that the sequestration orders were being properly carried out. First visit was on January 8th, the first night they were sequestered, and the second visit was on early in the evening of January 10th, where he just made a visit to pop in and say hi. On each occasion, he checked the jurors' accommodations and services and conferred with the hotel manager or the bailiffs with respect to the arrangements, had no conversations with the jurors except for cursory acknowledgement or a greeting or something, okay? He was at the motel for 10 to 20 minutes, and that's how that went. The sheriff fucking Sheriff Hop, this guy here, testified he made 3 visits to the motel.
3?
You are a fucking witness. And you can't go, and a sheriff, you're on you can't do this. You can't talk to them.
3 times.
3 times. He went to the motel during the period they were sequestered. First visit was on the 8th. When he went there, that was the first night, January 8th. He went to the motel to deliver a suitcase to a juror who had left a suitcase at home, so they had brought it as there. He doesn't have a deputy that can do this. He left the suitcase with the bailiff and then went to the jurors' private dining area and visited with the bailiff and 4 or 5 of the jurors at a nearby table for 15 minutes. He fucking hung out with them.
Was the prisoner handcuffed to him the whole time?
Just handcuffs dangling off him. He testified that his second visit to the motel was about 9 p.m. on a date somewhere in the middle of the trial, he said. He went upstairs to the jurors' quarters in one of the jurors' recreation rooms. He testified that he saw and had conversations with several of the jurors while he was there, and he stayed for about an hour. He played cards, Jimmy.
Oh, Jesus.
He sat down and played cards with these people. Are you fucking kidding me?
He's entertaining them.
Dude, you're the sheriff. That is so biased. You can't do that. You
Trying to get votes for next year.
You don't need bias for this case. So
it's an election year.
Oh, that's true. You never know. His third visit to the motel was on a Thursday night in January, same day which he testified as a rebuttal witness in the case. He testified, then went and saw the jury in the hotel that night. Holy shit. He went upstairs to the jurors' quarters in one of the recreation rooms. There were 4 or 5 jurors in the room, and the sheriff testified that he engaged in general conversation that lasted approximately 30 minutes. Dude, you can't do this. After the visit, the sheriff went into the adjoining recreation room where several other jurors were sitting. Some of the jurors were playing cards and invited the sheriff to join them. He did and played 3 games of blackjack for a period of about 7 minutes. This guy has no idea what he's doing.
That's what it is that he doesn't know.
He doesn't fucking know.
He's never had any experience in this. He has no fucking clue.
And he knows all these people. Right. So he's like, hey, there's Bob over there. You guys want to hang out? It's fucking silly. So the closing arguments come around here. And obviously there's all the evidence. They play his confession in court, which, ooh, boy, I wouldn't want to have to sit and listen to that shit.
That's heavy.
That's heavy shit. So the prosecutor here, the guy who said "God damn it" at first, he goes "God damn it," and that would be great if he opened his closing like that. God damn it, ladies and gentlemen, the fucking jury.
It's great to see you.
I've had it with this shit. God damn it. He says the interests of society demand the death penalty for Mr. Erwin Charles Simmons on 6 counts of first-degree murder. He said it's also sexual assault. There's more stuff there. He said that he murdered the family in cold blood and named them all off and their ages, and, it's bad. And then he said, quote, no set of facts could be more heinous, atrocious, cruel, or manifest more depravity than was shown in this case. Hard to argue with that. Really is. The defense based its arguments on the unconstitutionality of Nebraska's death penalty and on its plea that Simmons is suffering from a severe psychotic episode and had a history of mental instability. Well, this is one thing. The defense attorney says, quote, he's not normal. The evidence here clearly supports that. Well, yeah, he's just not the normal, everyday, functioning 30-year-old man. Yeah. Yeah, but still, he's a murderer.
Right.
He's a very functional murderer.
He did 30 years without doing it.
No shit. So the verdict comes in, and it's basically not guilty by mental defect, not guilty altogether, or you're fucking guilty.
Yeah.
That's the only options. And they find him guilty of everything, the whole shebang.
Wrap it up.
Sentencing comes around. And, he doesn't really do himself many favors there, doesn't have a big remorseful, teary-eyed thing. Mm-hmm. So he is sentenced, you, sir, may fuck off, death in the electric chair.
Jesus.
Oh, boy.
Yeah.
That's, yikes, that's a rough one. But, this is bad.
Yeah.
This is one of those.
He knew it was coming.
Yeah, this is one of those things where you're like, oh, Jesus. What he did was like, oh, man.
It's hard to argue the opposite for that guy.
It's tough, and he admits it, and he definitely did it, and there's no mystery about it. Yeah. It's like, you almost just, this is one of those where I don't like the pageantry of the death penalty. I hate it. I hate the fact that we're all going to, it's just weird. It's creepy to me for us to line somebody up and we're going to stare, well, this is what we're going to do to you, because that's just weird. We should just go in.
The worst part is the cheerleaders outside.
That's what I mean. If we're going to have a death penalty, have it be sometime in the next 10 years while you're sleeping, someone's going to come into your cell with a ball-peen hammer and just open up the back of your fucking skull, and that'll be the end of it.
It might be tomorrow.
While you're sleeping, you never know when it's coming.
Yeah.
No one can celebrate it or do anything else. If that's how we're going to do it, then that's how we should do it. I don't fucking know. Obviously, it's a bad idea, but it has to be better than what we're doing now, which is a big, like almost a reality show. It's almost like The Voice fucking, kills a human. It's creepy.
You got the golden buzzer.
Hey, look at that. Look what's coming out of there. It's poison. So, Simmons, wow. He said that after the trial, they asked if he had any resentment toward members of his family who testified against him, and he said, quote, all they done was tell the truth.
Yeah.
Okay, there you go. He believes he got a fair trial, and he thanked the jury for giving it to him, for listening, hearing him out, is what he said.
Thanks, guys.
Now, the gag order after this goes all the way to the Supreme Court, where the Supreme Court unanimously, it's, with that Brown versus Board v. Education and this are the only two fucking unanimous things I've ever heard of.
Yeah.
So unanimously struck down a Nebraska court order preventing the press from reporting a confession and other testimony heard in open court in a murder case. So
that's constitutionality.
They find it unconstitutional and a violation of all sorts of shit there. So they basically said at that point it's a private trial, and a trial's a public trial. That's the whole point of a fucking public trial.
Right.
That's what makes it public, is the press. Otherwise, it's a closed room. It's not open to not everyone can see it. So only the people in the room see it, then it's private. So anyway, 1977 comes around, October 12th, Nebraska's electric chair, it gets repaired for the newly scheduled execution of him. They schedule it. The state Supreme Court sets a January 21st, 1978 execution date.
Holy shit.
And they get it all polished up. They brought out the Minwax and they're fucking, they got that.
Teak oil in it.
What's that yellow can that people spray on shit, the wood shit?
The Thompson's Water Seal? Is that it?
No, it's the Old English shit.
Oh, yeah, it's Old English.
Old English.
Yeah, furniture polish.
But not the booze, the furniture polish. So
it smells terrible.
It's not good.
They smell about the same.
Yeah, they do, actually.
Yeah, they're very strong.
Now, Nebraska's electric chair has not been used since the 1959 execution of Charles Starkweather.
Wow, Starkweather was the last one.
Guy in there, and that had been almost 20 years
and
from
we threw some new rivets and bolts in it for this one.
Yeah, I had to make sure it was grease up to put some WD-40 on the switch,
the good oil change.
You never know.
It going.
Who was one of 12 men executed by the state since 1920, all in the electric chair. 2 men were on Nebraska's death row in 1972 when the U.S. Supreme Court struck down their earlier capital punishment law. Yeah. So then they ended up being commuted to life. That was Dwayne Earl Pope, had been sentenced to die for 3 murders during a 1965 bank robbery, and Thomas Alvarez, who was given the death sentence for the 1966 murder of a woman in Lincoln named Mary O'Shea. So both of them were commuted. So Nebraska's capital punishment law was passed in 1973, and it provides the death penalty for, I love how it says provides.
Yeah.
Like it's...
We're going to go ahead and accommodate
like
this.
It's a favor. Yeah. Like we provide continental breakfast, and it provides the death penalty for premeditated murder or for killings in the course of sexual assault, arson, robbery, kidnapping, hijacking, or burglary.
We just got accommodations for you.
It provides. I read that last night, 4:00 in the morning. I went, bah! I laughed at a 40-year-old newspaper from Nebraska just from that line. It provides. So 1978, he files an appeal. And Simmons does, obviously. There's nobody else who would file an appeal here. He alleges that the Lincoln County Sheriff, Gordon Gilster, was a principal and necessary witness for the state of Nebraska in prosecuting the murder against him, and that during the trial, he visited the motel in which members of the jury and alternates were sequestered, conversed, played cards, and associated with members of the jury and alternates. Also alleges that the trial judge who presided over the trial visited the motel where they were sequestered and had communications with members of the jury.
Ridiculous.
None of it. Very avoidable.
Yeah.
Very avoidable. Right. Are they bitching? No. Well, then their accommodations are fine, probably.
They'll be all right.
That's all. Send somebody. Send anybody to ask. Everybody okay in here? Okay, good. So the answer of the state, the alleged that though the trial judge was present at the motel on 2 occasions, he didn't discuss the case or attempt to do so. The answer also alleges that although the sheriff was present in the motel 3 times, he didn't discuss the case either. So it's all fine. It's not a matter of discussing the case. It's a matter of...
How do we know that? He was there. There's too much opportunity.
Either way, you're endearing yourself to the jury and you're a witness. Right. So you're getting them to believe you more because you're becoming friends with them. That's not the same advantage that guy has, so you can't do that. So, so old Sheriff Hopp from the 79 appeal, the judges judged that he met improperly with jurors while at the trial, while it was in session. And bailiff Eugene Larson said in an affidavit that, quote, as a matter of course, Gilster would go to the jurors' motel or he would play cards with them.
Idiot.
He said it was even more times than what he originally said. So the Nebraska Supreme Court on April 3rd, 1979 orders a new trial.
Goddamn.
For him, vacates the sentence and the conviction, all gone. And his contact with jurors during the trial, they said posed a problem of constitutional dimensions. That's what the way they put it. They feared that his conduct was intended to persuade jurors that he was conscientious and that he was trying to convince them of his credibility as a witness.
Obviously.
Just by being a stand-up guy. Right. Just want to check on all your accommodations.
Good man.
Yeah, is the defendant over here checking to make sure you guys got enough to eat tonight?
Jesus.
No. He testified twice, said that he was mentally competent, said, Irwin was mentally competent. And, his unwarranted contacts with the jurors have been the, quote, critical factor in determining the one key issue, which was determinative of the defendant's guilt or innocence. So, not good. He's going to have to do a resentencing and all that kind of shit here.
Retrial, right?
Retrial, yeah. So a fair trial, they finally say a fair trial before a fair and impartial jury is a basic requirement of constitutional due process. To condone the conduct of Sheriff Gilster in this case would violate the fundamental integrity of all that is embraced in the constitutional concept of a fair trial by a fair and impartial jury.
Yeah.
You fucked it up from fucking square one, you idiot.
We can't roll on 2 with the way this is done.
No. So new trial comes around. They said, no question, we're going to retry him as soon as humanly fucking possible. We're not going to let him go. So new trial. Now, during the trial, pretty much the same evidence gets in. During the trial, though, there's multiple offers from the defense for a settlement.
Oh.
Let's just, because, they got the electric chair in the first try. So they're like, let's do a plea. Let's just get one for life. What do you say? And the lawyer said, just trying to save my client's life here. Just trying to get him out of the chair. He knows he's going to get convicted. So he says there that he offered to enter a plea of guilty to second-degree murder, but the offer was rejected by the prosecutor.
Yeah, no.
Second-degree murder would have carried life imprisonment.
Not enough.
Okay, that's life imprisonment, though. Yeah. Remember that offer.
Yeah, but life with fucking possibility?
It's life with possibility.
Yeah, fuck that.
Okay. So Helvey said that the private plea bargaining offer was made several times to the chief prosecutor. Quote, our goal was to avoid the death penalty. On several occasions, we offered the prosecution pleas of guilty to 6 counts of second-degree murder and 3 counts of sexual assault. He said that the last defense offer was made on the Monday right before jury deliberations. And, he said, quote, the prosecution did not want to negotiate any plea. Okay. So the jury deliberates here, and they ask the judge a question. They'll come out and ask things. They'll have a note for the judge. They asked if special knowledge, quote unquote, could be used during the deliberations, particularly if it involved knowledge of psychological testing techniques. In other words, one of our juror knows psychological shit. Can we ask him about that? So the jurors also asked if that their memories of psychological testing dates for that Simmons had been examined be refreshed, and the judge said no to both of those. Okay. So wouldn't give them that, wouldn't give them the dates. So they said they did not consider the one guy on the jury, the foreman, Lee is his last name. He did not consider his master's degree in psychology, noting that it was felt some information possessed by some of the jurors might possibly be of use in terms of evidence presented by the expert witness. So they deliberate for a while. They come back with a verdict of not guilty by reason of insanity.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's fucked up.
Yeah, could have had life in prison.
That's fucked up.
And they said, no, we're going to do this. And then not guilty by reason of insanity.
Boy.
So now that means he will be held in a mental institution, quote, till he's not a threat anymore.
Oh, my.
So, hey, we'll find out when he got...
From death to fucking mental hospital?
Yep.
Jesus.
So, the jurors, they said beyond a reasonable doubt was the key element here. They said that, quote, it was impossible for us to conceive that the evidence showed beyond a reasonable doubt that this man was sane while he committed the acts that were part of our instructions. He said that they deliberated. They talked about at first a majority favored guilty, and the jury convinced itself. They had a real 12 Angry Men moment in there where they fucking all were fighting. And
yeah, with a smarty pants that's done some fucking psychological stuff.
Yeah. They said Monday afternoon the sentiment of the majority of jurors was originally for a verdict other than the one they finally reached, but the majority were in favor of a different verdict. But then they said quote, we just decided that it was our obligation to reach a verdict and we were just going to stay there until we did. None of us wanted to stay there a week or several weeks, but we decided to go on. And then finally, on the Wednesday, they said we were all absolutely so convinced that he had committed such a variety of bizarre acts that it was difficult for us to get past that. It was a stumbling block, the major stumbling block. So the one juror, though, came out and said that there was bullying and jurors were fighting and bullying each other, and it was a matter of this one had a more personality. He went down the vote counts. He was like, on Monday, the vote was taken and it came up 5 for insanity, 7 for guilty of first-degree murder. Then the second vote was taken on Tuesday, 6 for insanity, 2 for 1 count of first-degree murder, 5 counts of second-degree murder, and they were parsing all this shit out, right? It's weird as fuck. Third ballot had different results, 10 votes for insanity, 1 vote for guilt of first-degree murder on all 6 counts, and 1 vote, which was, the other one was some second, some first, all that shit. So finally, on the fourth ballot, they unanimously voted not guilty by reason of insanity. The judge is pissed off at it.
Oh, yeah.
The judge said quote, the defendant is guilty and sane, as he told the press afterwards.
Oh, you can't do that.
So weird. So fucking.
Is that legal?
It's not.
That's questionable, right?
That's definitely
unethical.
It's on the borderline, I would say.
Oh, boy.
He said that the jury shirked from their responsibility. Quote, the jury didn't decide the case according to the evidence presented, and they didn't follow the law. Jesus Christ. They're a bunch of fucking people you stuck in a Howard Johnson's for 2 weeks. What do you want from them?
Then maybe you should have pressured
Right.
Maybe you should have pressured the prosecutor to accept that plea then.
Yeah. Did you hear the things that they were doing? They're not fucking, legal scholars. They don't fucking know. That's what presented in front of you.
And every lawyer will tell you.
Run your courtroom better. I don't know.
Negotiate it out of court because you don't want to leave all your hard work in the hands of 12 dummies.
Yeah. That's what they say all the time.
Right. And you got a dude on there that's knows, he's got a master's in psychology.
You got to knock the champ out. That's the rule in boxing. You're not going to win by a decision. You got to really kill him. So
give him hell.
Fuck. How long will he be in the loony bin? Well, that will be decided by the state's Mental Health Commitment Act is what it goes up for. So basically, you have to make once a year he's up for review.
Oh, that's fucked.
Once a year he's up for review, and he'll be in the care of the Director of Medical Services there. They're going to decide where to put him exactly. And the verdict engenders a charge of whether the person is mentally ill and dangerous to himself or others. So basically, when they say not dangerous to himself or others, he's supposed to be set free at that point. But a judge has to decide that he's sane also. It's not just psychiatrists say he's fine and then they let him out the door.
Yeah.
Then it has to be his once a year review is with a judge.
Okay.
So Sheriff Hopp said he's, quote, heartsick over the outcome of this.
Well, it's your fault, you fucking idiot.
Yeah, dummy. That's probably because you're an idiot. Yeah, that's why.
It was all wrapped up.
Yeah, but he said he, quote, heartsick. He's been a sheriff's department officer for 25 years. 17 of those he's been the sheriff. And, he just said he's never felt sicker about anything. Just feels awful.
Sounds like you got a bad heart.
Yeah, no shit. So what are the old jurors? The old jurors are like, what the fuck did you guys do? They talked to the 76 jurors. They were like, huh? The fuck is wrong with you people? They talked about it. They said, quote, for my review of it, I don't agree, but I'm not able to comment on the evidence they had because he doesn't know what They had. We don't know what exactly was presented to them. It's a bunch of people, a bunch of the old jurors. Quote, "My heart just sunk. I just can't believe it. It isn't right. He wasn't insane. It's a shame all this money had to be spent. There's no doubt in my mind he knew what he was doing. I'm afraid a couple of years from now he'll be let loose and it may happen again. I feel what we did was right. And then just 3 years later to have it changed." Another person, "It's unbelievable. It sure was a lot of work for nothing." And well, people are pissed.
Yeah.
They're mainly pissed that they went and did that and then it got turned away.
Thrown out.
Yeah.
So that happens when you have baked beans with the sheriff,
Yeah.
fucking assholes.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, there you go. So Irwin's dad, too, comes out here. Amos. Old Amos here. He says since this whole thing has happened, Irwin's mom has died. Definitely, he says it was definitely from the stress of other thing. One of his children has died. So one of their 9 children has died here. And he said to have this over with the acquittal by reason of insanity, he said, quote, "takes quite a load off my mind." He says, "Maybe I'll get to feeling better now." Jesus Christ.
He's been fucked up for years.
He's had a hard time here. So, yeah, it's rough. He said that had to be something wrong, but I don't know what. Nobody in his right mind would pull something like that. When they asked him, does he think his son's sane? He's like, I mean, I saw that shit. It didn't look sane to me. Which, yeah. He said he's only seen his son once since the first trial when he traveled to the complex in Lincoln for a visit because it's 3.5 hours away. He said they don't correspond by, mail or anything like that. There's little contact between anything there. And he said that Amos has said the situation's put a lot of pressure on him. And he didn't even attend the second trial because his doctor wouldn't allow it. His health was bad and it was a lot of stress for him because he had a heart attack the first time. So they said, why don't you chill out? They asked about his wife, who died, and Amos said, quote, "She was worried a lot about it. They kept hollering about it on TV and on the radio. Every time she heard about it, she'd bawl. I think a lot of it was caused by that, her health problems." And she said that Amos said the medical and burial expenses just broke me. So he's like broke and sick, and his wife died, and it's bad. He said that people around town don't treat him any differently, though. He said they all treat me just fine.
To your face.
And then they're like,
shit about you.
He must have been a terrible father.
Right.
My other 8 kids haven't killed anybody. Jesus Christ. He said there's no sentiment against anyone in the family. Anyone, and this is a neighbor, no sentiment against the family. Everybody in town likes old Amos. It's no reflection on him. So the town folk, though, are fucking heads exploding. People are so mad. Holy shit. We hope the jury can live with themselves. The Kellys were people who didn't bother anybody their whole life. These people we saw in the street all the time, and now this happened. To think it could happen to your daughter and our people are losing their fucking minds about this shit.
Sure.
I mean, all over the paper here. The prosecutor is pissed too. He said, quote, "If I had thought he was insane at the time, I wouldn't have filed first-degree murder charges." As the press asked him, do you agree with your loss? No, I don't.
How do you feel?
Yeah. They said, will he ever get out of an institution? And the chairman of the Lincoln County Mental Health Board said, "I didn't anticipate anything like this. This isn't the ordinary case. We have not had a case of this nature, so we'll have to study the process." Again, they're just whatever. An ordinary case, we determine if someone is mentally ill, a dangerous person, and then we determine if he is, then he's committed. He said with this, though, this guy, he could seem sane, but what if he snaps and kills the whole family again? It's a different story. He didn't just go and, jump out in front of a car or bang his head against the wall or something.
For 30 years, he was doing fine. Little brushes with the law and stuff, and then all of a sudden, the whole family's dead?
Yeah.
Who knows what this fucking guy's capable of?
Anything. The defense attorney said that it's the biggest relief of my life to get this case out of my office. He said, quote, "It wreaked havoc on my total life, my family, my emotional well-being. There was a tremendous pressure from all sides." He was a private attorney, got appointed by the judge to defend him the first time. Then he joined the public defender's office the next year and was appointed to defend him the second time by the office. He's like, fuck.
I can't get away from this shit.
He literally said in this, if I knew there'd be a second trial, I wouldn't have taken the job with the public defender's office because there would have been a chance I would have taken it.
Right.
The juror, Douglas Scott Lee, who was the psychological guy, he has to move, he said. He said he had to move his family out of Hickman, Nebraska, and was buying a gun because of threatening phone calls and people bothering him.
Wow.
He said, the calls start coming in on Thursday, and I was worried about the safety of my family. I'm sick inside about it. He is the managing editor of the Voice of Southern Lancaster County newspaper. And so people knew who he
you
was.
got a master's and you think you're smarter than everybody.
No shit.
You come in here and ruin a just open and closed case.
He's a goddamn juror. He heard what he heard. Everyone else agreed. So changes.
Yeah.
The governor of Nebraska at that time said that he thinks there's merit to change Nebraska's law to allow a guilty but mentally ill verdict. So that way, when they got out of an institution, then they could be put in a prison rather than on the street.
Yeah.
There's no in between at that point.
Right.
So this is like, oh, now you're sane enough for prison. That would be that type of thing.
That's what they want done to him.
That's what they want done to him.
Yeah.
Hey, look at you. So 1989 comes around.
Where's the problem with that law is that there's no merit in getting better. You know what I mean? Congratulations. Now step over here.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Might as well just stay crazy.
Yeah.
It's better. It's better for you.
Absolutely.
So 1989, he wants supervised visits. He wants treatment outside of the center for alcoholism and for mental issues and shit like that. So the judge says no for now, but they're going to consider it for next year. 1990, he wants more supervised visits, and they end up doing it. They let him go for supervised visits to doctors and shit, not like to the Chuck E. Cheese or anything, just to the doctor. So the one psychiatrist, they say about him, quote, Dr. Anderson said he's going to do it again if he gets out. He'll isolate himself, he'll drink again, and he'll do it again. It's very scary what's going to happen if they ever let him out of jail, out of the, out of the hospital. I had heard a lot of rumors that he was going to be turned loose this year. And then he says, Simmons says, quote, I feel that I deserve a chance. I've changed. I don't feel that I'm any danger because I've changed and I care.
Oh, my.
You have to know as a person, what I did is not going to be accepted ever. So 2003, he is allowed supervised time away from the center. So that ends up happening. 2004, he's still in there, still not letting out. 2005, he is formally diagnosed by Dr. Jack Anderson with schizophrenia, pedophilia, and necrophilia.
Okay.
Those are three very, very, that's a bad cocktail.
That, my friend, is a hat trick.
That's a hat trick, right?
That's hat trick,
Schizophrenia,
Harvey.
pedophilia, and necrophilia. Whoa. That's wild.
That's the trifecta of stay the fuck out of society.
The doctor said that he will always suffer from these disorders. And he at the time now, he's 59 years old then. They said he's been an exemplary prisoner. Doesn't bother anybody, which he never did on the outside. Besides butchering a family, he was fine. He never bothered anybody.
You know what he did? He did it at 30. He's almost to the second 30.
Yeah. Well, one doctor said to let him out for supervised visits, this was the judge, I'm sorry, said, quote, so long as he keeps away from alcohol and non-prescribed controlled substances, his mental illness will in all probability remain in remission, and his dangerousness to the community will be minimized. I don't want minimized. He killed children.
Remission?
Badly.
I want it fixed.
They said that if he does get out, he would most likely seek seclusion, start drinking again, and the delusions and fantasies would return. One judge said there would be a very high risk of the defendant again being involved in a violent sexual activity. Yes, I would agree. Mm-hmm. So, 2013, he's still trying to get out. One judge said the court's not inclined to gamble with the safety of the public, particularly as it relates to young girls and older women who would be defenseless targets if he were to violently reoffend.
Right.
Very fair. Exactly. That's perfect. 2017, he is still ruled mentally ill by a judge. 2019 comes up.
Yeah.
They say he's up there. He wants out.
Yeah.
There's psychiatrist that says he's all better. He hasn't shown a fucking sign of craziness in 30 years. He's doing fine. And a judge says, nah, I don't think so.
Not yet.
We're going to keep you in there. That's 2019 in October. So he is up this month.
Yeah.
This is going on again.
Oh, boy.
Who knows? They said that he's dangerous. 2019, Nebraska, what is it? The University of Nebraska at Kearney, their journalism department holds a big event to celebrate the landmark decision of the Supreme Court saying that you can't have a gag order for journalists because they were one of the people that sued. So they have a big party about that. There was a petition for a while on, quote, thepetitionsite.com.
That sounds stupid.
Yeah, they were trying to get 1,000 people. They only got 10 supporters. And it's to keep him in jail, but it's also I was like, oh, that's a good thing, but it's also because they want to make a documentary. So I'm like, I don't do that. And says now, 40 years later, he's been declared cured by psychiatrists, and they're calling it an alcohol-infused psychosis. Blah, blah, blah. He is a threat to my kids and grandkids, as well as your kids and or grandkids, as well as all adults. Very good writing. Please pass this posting to your friends, family, and business associates. I really need your help to get sponsors and advocates to help me make this film. Thank you very much. That, everybody.
Fuck you.
Exactly. Oh. That is Sutherland, Nebraska.
Jesus.
You can't tell me, you can't shake a stick at that shit. No. That was absolutely one of the craziest fucking stories we've ever done. Wow.
Ugly as Donald's face.
Whew, boy, I'm telling you. Well, if you like that story, or if you just appreciate our telling of it, for a better way to put it, please get on Apple Podcasts, give us 5 stars. They really do help a lot. They help drive us up the charts, so thank you for doing that. Head over to shutupandgivememurder.com for everything crime and sports and small-town murder related. You should also listen to P.S. I Hate This Movie as well, or make fun of bad romantic comedies. You want to go to the website, though, shutupandgivememurder.com right now, because you want to get your tickets to the virtual live show.
Right.
October the 29th. It's a Thursday, and also it'll be available for 48 hours after that. You can listen, and it will be, or you can watch, sorry. It will be the all-violent felon edition of the prisoner dating game, where 4 lucky bachelorettes and 4 lucky bachelors get lined up before Jimmy. All of them are imprisoned for terrible crimes. I make sure they do it. And then I read Jimmy the descriptions that these people put up. You know, this is their bait.
They're selling their schmeckle.
Yep. Yeah. And we will show you the pictures, but Jimmy will not be able to see these people until he picks one of each, one lucky bachelor, one lucky bachelorette, and then we will show him the pictures. And more importantly, we will tell everybody what everybody did to belong on this show. So much fun. Shutupandgivememurder.com right now. I'm telling you, it's a riot. That show is crazy, so please check it out, especially when you find out what they did. After you hear, oh, that guy sounds really nice.
They really, James, they have more confidence than anybody on dating sites.
They have to. They have to have game in there.
Yeah, and these guys on fucking Tinder got jobs. And
that's why. They don't have to be as flowery, because they have a goddamn job and a car and a fucking, they are like free.
Right.
That's the difference. In there, you really got to draw someone in like a spider to the web, So, do all of that. By the way, you want to follow us on social media. That's easy to do. We are at Murder Small on Twitter, at Smalltown Pod on Facebook, and at Smalltown Murder on Instagram. And if you want to be a Patreon donor, you're going to get something for your money. Let me tell you, anybody over the $5 level, first of all, Jimmy will mispronounce your name.
Absolutely.
Just like he's going to do to a slew of people here in just a few moments. Not only that, but you will get access to all of the wonderful bonus material, including the crime and sports bonus material, which is rarely about sports, so you'll want to listen to that too. This week's Small Town Murder bonus that we did, it came out a couple days ago. If you get on Patreon, you can hear it right now. It is the 3 women in Milwaukee who decided, so not small town, but it was crazy enough anyway, who decided they wanted to resurrect Jack the Ripper. Based on one of their beliefs that she was Jack the Ripper's mother in a former life.
Right.
And one of them also wants to resurrect Hitler for some reason as well.
I get it.
Anyway, I don't. Anyway, he doesn't mean he gets wanting to resurrect Hitler, by the way. Ladies and gentlemen, my co-host, Andrew Jackson.
Or Goebbels.
Or Hitler. My co-host, Himmler. Co-host Heinrich Himmler. So... Anyway, it's where the hell was I? Patreon. So it's so much fun. The episodes are crazy. We did team songs on crime and sports. So there's like Hulk Hogan singing, Lenny Dykstra rapping, Oral Hershiser rapping.
You learn that they've got one talent.
And it's not music. So do all of that. Check all that out. New episodes out next week. All of that can be had at patreon.com/crime and sports. Anybody over the $5 level has access to all that beautiful, beautiful stuff. And if you just want Jimmy to mispronounce your name and get some good karma for yourself, you can do that by making a donation over at PayPal using our email address, crimeandsports@gmail.com. That said, Jimmy... After all that horrible story, I need to hear about some good people who would never do any of the things that just happened right now. Instead, they're so nice, they support us and make us be able to make a living doing a podcast. So, Jimmy, hit me with the names of those wonderful people right now.
This week's executive producers are Shelley Frells, Ellie Kamek. She's in Texas. She's terrific.
Nice.
Kristen Anderson, Lisa Newberger, Allie Shirley, Gwen Steele, Leif Steinmetz, Lizzie Wolf, Ashley Bowen Baraklawa, Nicole Blair, Jesse Plotkin, Carol Braun is back. Thank you, Carol.
Thank you, Carol.
Amanda Berry, thank you very much. She just
Thank
quit her
you,
job and donated. What did she donate? It was her leftover PTO she donated.
Wow,
That was
thank
fucking
you so much.
so sweet. Thank you, Amanda. Joanne Ahern, Alex Etch, Chrissy Ann Castaldi, obviously,
Hey,
Christine
thanks, Chrissy, again.
Warner, and Jordan Bennett. Thank you
Hey,
guys
Jordan.
so
Wow,
much.
those are some of our favorites
Truly,
there.
yeah.
Thank you,
and,
guys.
and in those was a bunch
Everybody's
of words
great.
about how they wanted to help, how sick I was, and
Oh, well, you guys are sweet.
truly from the bottom of my
Thank you,
heart,
guys.
thank you guys. Thanks for thinking of us. Taylor, other producers this week are Taylor Halfpenny, Sarah Duggan, Amanda Freetag, Rowan with no last name, Dale Lewis, Galia, what is that? Oh boy, Hornado, Jesus, I think it might be Gala.
All right.
I do really terribly with writing. Jack Tufford, Chris Caton, Amanda with no last name, Michael von Tomaszewski, Chris with no last name, Sarah Chai, Caitlin Franklin, Vivian Gorosky, Dan Viglietti, Viglietti.
Dan, what the? It's an Italian name. I should have known.
Ashley Murworth, Joe with no last name, Brittany Poxon, Miller, I think it's Shy, Allison Newbold, yes, Megan with no last name, Kyle Williams, Deborah with no last name, Dana Reed, Kevin Schrader, Amy Sprinkle, Alex Sinzaba,
That's a cool name.
Heather Elbert, it's like a wine, right? No, what is
Something.
that?
It sounds
I don't know
cool.
what that is.
Either way, it's a neat name.
Madeline Greenfield, Jason Covert, Sam Schurer, Bubble Sprite, Kyle Juarez, Ruben Tirado, Jess Anderson, Donnie Richardson, Owen, is that Owen? Olwyn Searles, Ollie with no last name, it might be Allie, I don't know. Ali, Olivia Crutcher, Monica DeOssi, Micah Shai, Taj Aliji, what is that? I don't know if I wrote a J or an S. Look at this. Is that an S or a J? What is if? Because they could be different, could be the same.
Wow.
You don't know. That's how bad it is.
Well, thank you.
Jocelia Adams, Connor Smith, Victoria Lauren, Ralph Haas, Michelle Warrener, Sarah Rachel. Matt Scarborough, Catherine Ziegler, Amanda Teague, Ty, maybe? Chris Launer, Taylor Swanson, Jenna Bradley, Julia Schuster, Sean what did I do? Fury, Christy Hilton, Lindsay Files, Jared McCluskey, Sean Sinclair, Daniel Trupp, Wendy Gonzalez, Valerie Younkins, Kevin Bartlett, Carla L., Beth Shockey, Melissa McCutcheon, Jerome Becker, Lauren Bradford, Cameron Cleary, Chris Adams, Chris Adams, like the gentleman, right?
Yes, like gentleman Chris Adams.
Nicole with no last name, Cole Mellon, McKenna Mattel, Tylen, what is this? Ellsworth, Sean Turner, Joe Fadden, Sean Delory, Hallie, God damn it. Catherine Osario, Sarah Ratcliffe, Versailles or Vassal, what the fuck? Santa Radcliffe. Nope, that's Hannah. That's
Santa? Yeah, it's probably Hannah more than Santa.
More than likely. Kelsey V, Carly.
Some poor Santa sitting out there going, thanks a lot. Guess I don't exist. Great.
Carly Krajovic, no, I think. Vicky Serrano, Joe Gallipo. What is that, James?
Italian.
Yeah.
Fucking wrong is what it is.
Jennifer Taylor. Olivia McQueen, Richard Berman, probably Boomer's brother. Jesse Hensky, Stevie James, Zane Brown, Glenda Pipinich, April Whitner.
Stevie James. Is that the Steve James, the director of Stevie?
Probably.
Awesome.
God damn it. April Whitner, Cecilia, nope, that's Celia Bolin, Christina Durant, Nicola Mastrantonio, Macy Scalo, it's Italian, god damn it.
Just call him Scalapini and get it over with. You know you want to.
I'm sorry, Macy. Annie Blandy, Shay Prince, Stephanie Akers. It's a fucking mess. James Warner, Mike Carpenter, Martin Corbett, Nicole Aquari. Acquery, God damn it, Mike McCombs, Flatula Lee Roth, that's easy because it's not real.
Yes.
Carol, goalie, Valerie Siprit, God damn it, Johanna Mullen, Isaiah McAlexander, Carissa Kreft, Christopher Brown, Chris Keys, Brandy Lee, Kenzie Brown, Selena Guerra, Christy Stutz, Jericho Von Brugger, the Jezebel 567. See how hard this shit is? Right. Phil Snodgrass, Anna Janke, I think, Guz Z, Kimmy Parks, Greg Hill, Chad Piercy, Ryan Swift, Hannah B, Mitchell Barros, Janice Melchiori, God damn it, Suzanne Wager, Katie Fahey, Travis Bender, Jennifer Johnson, Mark Schaefer, Joshua McNamee, Jay Henry, Tiffany Ehrlich, Ellie Gonzalez, Stephanie Phelps, I think, yep, Alexis Totus, Chris with no last name, Audrey Ingersoll, David Vineyard, Mr. What is this? Rin 213.
Sure.
Mindy Swigert, Lurky Lurkerson. All right. Sasha Saunders. God damn it. Leslie Valerio. Rangers JT, Jamie Keck, Tituba. Patrick Murphy, DJ, Amanda Kesner, Caitlin with no last name, E. Rock, Tremaine Lasley, Jenny with no last name, Adam Beaton, Stephanie with no last name, Joel with no last name, Danielle Sheeter, Iona Singh, Olin Miller, Justin Hoffman, Sam Metz, what is this, Auntie Halopainen? No, it's never happening. Sean Corbin, Adel Hansen, Emma Ratcliffe, Chuck Brooks, Jane Parks, Emmy Shilpert, Ness Sims, Lindsay Keeler, Geraldine Munson, Boris Kurbanen, Lauren Brennan, Kent Sipanewski, God damn it, Elaine Frudiger, Luke Sheedy, Eric Schiller, Shy Bam Blocker, Taylor Collins, Megan Asbill, John Engel, Justin May, Samantha Lippert, Robbie Luna, Grayson Bancroft, Matt Smith, Alfred Hitch Penis. Got it? Because cock is fucking, it's a dirty word. Catherine Fromm, Dana Kizala, Megan Cox, Carrie there's the Cox, hey. Carrie Baker, Carolyn Dunn, Lori Scarpa, because it's Italian, of course. Sam Wigan, Lori Thomas, Alana Kreinert, I don't know, Dennis Avalez, Chris Reber, and his wife. It's their anniversary, Sarah. Happy anniversary.
Oh, well,
Megan Lynch Chowning. What? That can't be right. Gerald L. Nope, that's an N.
Let's hope so.
Steve Schnell. Thanks, Steve. Matthew Adorno, because it's Italian. Jason Ammerman. God damn it. Caitlin Stupek. Jude Kendall. Elizabeth Burko. Dick Minge. Brendan Abels. Dakota Harrington. Ashley Vio. Susanna Platt. Issa Kafina. Janice Kraft. Casey Shatters. Happy birthday, Adam Graham. And also, it was Susan Olgis's birthday.
Hey,
and nobody told us to
Susan.
tell her happy birthday, but happy birthday anyway. You're terrific.
Hell yeah.
Gerald N., Matthew Adorno, I said that, Thomas Smith, Jill Calhoun, Michael Calhoun also, John DeLong, Peyton Meadows, Julia Usher Murray, Heath Mauger, Amanda Knight, Charles Stump, James Martyr, of course, Burton Hess, what is that? I think it's an I. Linda Timer, Lindsay Trotter, happy birthday to Sarah Flumeria. What? That's not right.
Sarah Flumeria?
Yeah. And,
sounds like a good one.
And Kathy Jackson. Those are from Susan. What the fuck? Susan's birthday.
Hey,
she's telling people
happy birthday, Flumeria.
Ridiculous. Unbelievable. Julia McCauley and Read It Next. I don't know what that is. I wrote that down. It's something. Tatiana, Titanova Berez Hawawa. I don't know. Her name's got tit in it, and that's going to ruin everything.
It's going to distract you a lot, I feel like.
Richard and Hope Radarmer, it's their anniversary. Sebastian Martin, Kyle Juarez, what is this? Maureen Jones, Zachary Kipfer, Stephen Stadler, Krista Walker, John and Mary Catherine Buck, Katarzyna Niedzolka.
Hey.
I found out the I is pronounced like a W. Frank Crowley, Aaron Baker, and Janice Hill, and of course all of our patron donors. You guys are amazing. Thank you.
thank you everybody so much, honestly, from the bottom of our hearts, man. You guys, just everything you've done for us, everybody, every dime you give us, every retweet or every like or every time you tell a friend, it really, really fucking helps. I know it seems like insignificant to tell your friend or to donate $1 or whatever the hell you want to do, but it's not to us. And it means the world to us that you would take your time to do that. So thank you so much for that.
Doing it this way is crazy.
It's crazy.
It's
and
amazing.
And we love it. And we wouldn't have it any other way. Jimmie, what about you? What if they want to get a hold of you? How can you do it?
Find me at Whisman Sucks, WHISMAN Sucks, as RJ Davis did. It's his twin brother Roy's birthday.
Hey, happy birthday,
Roy's not with us, but it's his birthday.
Well,
so
happy birthday to him, too, because he's a twin.
And RJ.
Happy birthday to RJ.
Thank you.
Yes.
Also, Thomas and his sister, Chris Smith. Chris is a nurse, and she's caring for terminal patients. She's a fucking hero. So thank you, Chris.
Thank you so much.
Also, Aaron Gitz, you guys, we can't do this without you guys.
Absolutely.
And thank you truly from the bottom of my heart. It's super fucking warming to know that you guys are there and doing this for us. So thank you. Where can they find you?
Jimmie P is funny. You know, right? Just copy and paste my name. You'll find me out there. Jesus Christ.
We're around.
Yeah. James from Small Town Murder. You'll find me. Don't worry about it. It's not like I'm hiding.
Yeah.
So with that said, everybody, thank you so much. Hope you enjoyed and hope you've cleansed yourself, maybe wash your mouth out with soap and take a shower and feel a little bit better.
Stay off the homepage.
And come back next week because holy shit, do we have a wild Halloween episode for you. It is a crazy, spooky carnival of literally from a carnival. Crazy shit. With that said, everybody, thank you so much. Honestly, I say it all the time, but thank you so much. And until next week, everybody, it's been our pleasure.
Bye.
If you like Small Town Murder, you can listen early and ad-free now by joining Wondery Plus in the Wondery app or on Apple Podcasts. Prime members can listen early and ad-free on Amazon Music. Before you go, tell us about yourself by filling out a short survey at Wondery.com/survey.
In the 1980s, a rosé swept the country.
Hey, Mike, I really like this White Zinfandel.
Well, good. Now put it down. We're going to try another one.
White Zin became America's top-selling wine. But most don't know that this sweet drink has a sour history. What began in 1986 with counterfeit bottles,
a big fraud, a multi-million-dollar fraud,
sent investigators chasing one of the most powerful families in the business, the Licciardis. But the closer the feds got to them, the more dangerous things became. It's a story of deceit.
At the time, I was paranoid.
Threats.
You touch my kids, I will kill you.
And murder.
With a .22 caliber bullet to the head.
What started with a scheme to mislabel wine spilled into a blood-soaked battle for succession. Welcome to Bloodvines. You can binge listen to Bloodvines exclusively and ad-free on Wondery Plus. Join Wondery Plus in the Wondery app, Apple Podcasts, or Spotify.